This is not Shadows of Gradariel, actually. I am going to dub it Echoes of Gradariel because I am lazy and needed a name for the one-shot. Although I'm probably going to put Charisma Yes somewhere in the title because holy crap, Party of Charisma Yes. Anyway.
That is who we are. We are Charisma Yes in this one shot.
Hello, YouTube. This is slightly different. This is going to be a one-shot set in the same world as the Shadows of Gradariel. And we are introducing a new player. Say hello, Kenneth, because I'm going to edit out all that intro so they didn't hear your voice until now. Go.
Hi.
Yes. This is going to be our new player for this. And, so, the opening to this story is we see the town of Yukiegi, similar town that we have all seen in the course of this story before. Slightly sort of gnomish in make for most of its buildings. Got a sort of wintry-esque backdrop going around it because this is up in the snowy mountains. And what Yukiegi is doing currently is getting ready for the Midsummer Festival. So we see the mayor's house up in the north up here, as he, as a sort of like almost Minecraft redstone mechanism thing clicks, and these little banners unfurl from the top roof of the building, and you see the a steel flaming hammer holy symbol on these little crest flags up at the top. And you also see various other people in town getting ready for a big feast with like a dinner table. It's this long dinner table here in the middle.
That's what that is.
Yeah. And extra little tavern stalls are being set up, or little stalls are being set up for various games, and you see like a little ring toss sort of a game, and we see those of you who've traveled and been in this town before, which would be, I guess, how well traveled is Luvina?
Luvina, first of all.
Or Luvina, sorry, I keep doing that. Luvina.
Well, as for how well traveled, I haven't really fully fleshed out her backstory, and I don't plan to unless she actually winds up in the campaign mainstay. But I can say she's been here maybe once before.
Okay. And Silver's sort of well traveled, and
like, I mean, Luvina goes all over the place, but like she hasn't necessarily been here a lot before. She usually, I imagine, like she sticks to warmer climates more often than not.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Because snow is depressing.
Yeah, Silver hasn't really been up this far north. This is probably the farthest north she's been.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's more for the sake of your characters may not know, but the players do. Players do because you've been in this town, save for Kenneth, who's not even been introduced to this. The mayor character for Yukiegi is actually a Warforged. So, like a 7-foot-tall robot-looking person.
Locke shat himself when they met.
Yes, indeed.
It was funny.
It was funny. So, said mayor is what I was implying, this golden Gemma is setting up for the big banquet, and he has the little gnomish, old wizened gnome character is sort of helping him, and it was actually the gnome that had flipped the switch to let the banners down. And everyone just seems to be getting ready for this general sense of games and fun, and there's a lot of extra people that normally aren't in Yukiegi. I just didn't bring tokens for all of them because that would look cluttered as crap. Yeah. Luvinia is currently probably out and about in the game, and that's why I placed her over here. So we will start with her. What is
All right.
who rolled a
first of
thing?
all-
Oh.
Just ignore it.
Well, first of all, I should probably describe what Luvina looks like to the audience.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Luvina is a moon elf, dressed in this kind of playful-looking red attire. Uh, I mean, I can't really show it to people on screen, but I have it in my head as looking kind of like a slightly less revealing version of the dancer's outfit from Final Fantasy XIV. Kind of like that. So, very playful, very theatrical, very bright red color. She has purple eyes and long, kind of flowy, but also kind of messy purple hair. The reason it's purple is because she dyes it. And let's hear what else.
She would very much get along with Gretchen if she ever met her.
Indeed. Let's hear. She has this interesting cape over her back, and she has just a broom also, kind of strapped over her shoulder, and weird slippers. And right now, she's just kind of sitting, leaning against a tree, looking around at all of the happy people with a sort of cheerful look on her face. She kind of shifts back a little bit, pokes at her hair a bit, and a little garter snake pokes its head out. Luvina looks down at it. Isn't this exciting, Mara? A big festival. Never seen it before. And she slowly pushes him back into her hair, excuse me. Been doing too much pony recently. And I guess I'll just have Luvina start skipping around, humming a little tune to herself, refraining from playing her bagpipes because she is not alone right now, and just seeing what she can find.
Okay. Does she go in among the games, or does she just skip around merrily and randomly?
Merrily and randomly, just seeing what all's around, not committing to anything until she has a proper lay of the land. There's
Okay.
method to her madness.
So she does see, and she's just by her overall demeanor, she's bringing a smile to their faces. She does see a, little small group of kids that are in amongst them playing all the different games of various different races and persuasions. Lots of gnomes, but it is gnomes, humans, a dwarf kid here there, and they're just enjoying the games, and it's a very happy atmosphere. And she just sort of meandering around with the bunch of kids.
Yep, just pronking about. Boing,
Yep.
boing, boing.
Like
I mentioned when I said she's skipping.
Oh, I know. Alrighty. Indeed. So, we will cut away from that at the moment, and we will be brought into Yukiyagi's Tavern, which the audience has also been here before, obviously. The tavern owner, or the main barkeep, is a Vidalcan, blue-skinned male, and he is very much getting ready for the rush of people that are all going to come in here at about the same time, because that's the way that it works when you work with the public. I know these things. And he is very much getting ready for the big rush of people that are especially going to come in now, considering that he has himself an attraction that's coming up here soon, and his human, the barmaid human that works with him is helping getting tables busted and cleaned. But there are a few smattering of people that are already in here. One of which is Silver.
Silver is this average-sized woman with plated in half plate of nice silvery and stuff. She has a sword resting to her side that she has her hand just slightly resting on, and a shield leaning against the bar as she leans back against it, enjoying a nice cup of mead. She has long black hair, and across her face there are like these little freckles, but each time she turns her head in the light, they sparkle. And her eyes are actually white with black rings around them.
Ooh.
And stuff.
Um,
My question is, how many people are surrounding me?
You have a little bit of attention around you. There's probably a few folks that. I mean, it's a coming celebration. Some of them got a little bit drunk in the day, and they're just sort of hovering in and around you a little bit. Not too many because the bar's not all that crowded just yet. And but you know, there's a decent chunk of people around you.
So
And
choose as you come in and stuff on it. She's actually in the midst of telling a joke of like, so the creature looks at the guy and says, "Beholder, you dimwit, I'm your wife." I mean, granted, she did kind of look like a beholder up close.
you get some fair bit of laughs from that, obviously, especially from the drunken types.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, our voice actor. And we have the last individual of this party. We see who is probably actually preparing because the last member of this party is going to do a show of some sort or other.
Figured.
And is getting ready to set up for that. So we have Kenneth's character just sitting on the getting ready to set up for his little show. This is medieval times, so there's no real mic for him to like test or mess with, but you know, he's getting set up on stage, getting all of his stuff in order and whatnot. So you can introduce your character's appearance for us, Kenneth.
All right. I am a male kinku. That is a large humanoid bird person. Face resembles very strongly like a raven. Dark colored bill, dark colored feathers. I am currently wearing bright green wool shorts and a bright yellow flannel shirt with an asymmetrical plaid pattern. And I have a brown sweater vest over it with a pocket watch and carrot orange suspenders over all of that. I'm in a relatively dark sort of cloak, which would be hard to identify anything special of it in the light of the tavern, probably. And I'm sort of standing up or sitting up on stage, basically talking to myself in a menagerie of different voices. It's like I'm almost having a conversation with myself, but in different voices. I'm sort of getting ready because I know that I'm about to recite a story. So.
Mm-hmm. And we have the time passes a little bit. We have the coming crowd of the rush of different people coming into the tavern, especially considering that the Warforged mayor sort of makes sure that the crowd knows that we're going to have a bard performance in the tavern, and anyone wants to listen to the lovely stories this individual wants to portray, better head on to the tavern. So, Luvina, that's what you would hear. You see the Warforged mayor, like 7 foot tall robot person, is calling to amongst the crowd. We will have a performance in the tavern tonight in celebration and preparation for the night's festivities. Any of those wishing to hear his tale, please head over to the tavern.
Woo! Sounds fun. And Luvina's gonna start skipping her way that way.
Mm-hmm.
Literally skipping.
Literally skipping.
Alrighty. And of course Silver doesn't hear all that stuff.
She's already in there.
She's already there, and you see the crowd of people coming in, and it's all manner of like farmers folk, because a lot of Yukiegi's main like trade is farms and stuff that are a little further south of the village of the city proper, and it's a big menagerie of different people that are coming into the tavern, and you then have this random kinku that is sitting on stage.
Question. Luvina's currently towards the entrance of the tavern. Can she see what's going on through all the people? Because she's only 5'6". She's kind of short.
Oh,
Charisma, yes. Height, no. How tall is Silver?
I think like 6'2", probably.
oh, how? She's not that tall.
Oh, she's not. I thought she was taller.
She's actually 5'10".
Oh, okay. Compared to
5 foot
the
club.
compared to the height of those around of the rest of her soon-to-be party, she is much taller, because both Luvina and the Kinku are only like 5'2". So
Okay.
It doesn't answer my question though. Can Luvina like see the stage and where the?
Maybe
yeah.
if she hops a little.
Okay.
I mean, there's a crowd of people. There's a crowd of people, but you know, you have the female bartender from before is sort of making sure that as the crowd gets in, she helps people get positioned, and so maybe not at first, but once everybody's moved around and found a table, it gets easier for you to see the stage because nobody's like blocking it.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping you would be totally crowded and I couldn't see shit. But all right.
I mean, it's crowded, but I mean, you can find some point to see the stage. You might not necessarily be able to see all of it, but
All right. No.
it would have been much more difficult if you didn't have the human that sort of guiding the crowd, as it were.
All right.
And then we have Kinku on stage that is ready to deliver his story. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Small GMly note in Discord to a person. Okay. And sorry in advance, it's going to be cringy.
Oh boy.
Once upon a time, there was a dragon who lived on top of a tall mountain. On the very top, there was a castle. No, the dragon lived in a cave. The cave was in the side of the mountain, just towards the top. The king lived in the castle. Yes. So, one day, the king decided he wanted to descend the mountain to visit his people in their village down below. The king's advisor was afraid and asked, "Are you sure you wish to go down the mountain?" Boldly, the king answered, "Yes, of course. Why do you ask?" Overcome with fear, the advisor barely whispered in reply, "Are you not afraid you might startle the dragon and get blown off the side of the mountain?" Very heroically, the king explained, "No." And so off they went and began their descent. When they were nearly to the cave, the king gently spoke, "Stop! Let me out here." As the king slowly inched up to the cave, the dramatic tension becomes so powerful I might not be able to finish this story. So he peeks inside and yells, "MacGuffin!" The dragon's name was MacGuffin. "I, the king of the mountain, am about to pass your cave. Do not be alarmed." He heard no reply. He finished his journey and was very happy. Some say the story is untrue, a myth set in a world where dragons do not exist. I would like to believe it is truth. I would like to one day meet a king so bold, heroic, gentle, and happy as he. Or maybe I am secretly the dragon that people do not know if exists.
And at that point, Silver, you, if you're, listening to this tale from this Kinku, right as it gets to this point, there is a crash, as one of the he got himself a little bit heavier drunk than he really should have. He just sort of collapses in front of your table, and since
I'm not on
Luvinia,
a table. I'm just against the bar.
well, he collapses onto a table near you, and it's a loud enough crash that it interrupts the potential ending for this Kinku's story, and it gets everybody on the in the tavern's attention, or at least a lot of them, just due to the nature of how loud this guy is. Which he's actually a half orc, so he's a rather big individual.
Silver's gonna go and try to pull him to his feet.
Yes.
We're just gonna like stand on our tiptoes and get a good look.
Come now, sir. You had enough to drink.
I'm fine.
See when I get up close.
I'm fine. What are you worried about? He sort of tumbles as you and pushes your hand away as you try to get him up. But he does make his way up eventually.
Well, Silver's gonna be like, well, then may I suggest you go get some fresh air, sir?
He sort of grumbles, and does actually make his way out, especially when he sees the Vidalcan barkeep, who very much is agreeing with your settlement to try to get him to exit and get some fresh air. Sadly, though, due to the
walking past him, like once we leave the thing, and he's gonna be passed out in the middle of the street.
quite possibly, and those that were closer to this table have actually sadly missed the potential ending, and the Kinku's performance has been finished, and there's a scattering of claps, in particular from the ones that haven't necessarily heard his story before, because he's not the greatest at delivery, as one can tell. And
I try.
and as for DMs to players, me and Kenneth were hoping that wasn't too terribly cringy.
It's supposed to be a little bit. I was just hoping it wasn't like, okay, timeout, let's stop everything. Let's talk about this. It's like...
It was cringy, but in a way that it was entertaining, especially because of like the sort of bait and switches you set up. The king heroically explained, "No."
Yeah.
I will admit that was funny. That actually got me a bit. Like towards the back, listening to the story, Luvin is just giggling a bit.
That's actually sort of the desired intent. So huzzah.
Indeed. And you guys just sort of have the ending of the story has come, and the Kinku sort of hops down from the stage and gets to gathering with a few people that may have wanted to actually sort of interact with him as the far-flung fans that do enjoy his stories to a great extent, and he's just sort of sitting amongst them for the moment. And another performance comes on behind him, which is a much more musical themed performance, and then the sort of ambience of the tavern starts to pick up a little bit, of people just conversing with each other, because now the focus isn't necessarily to the performance on the stage, and it's sort of become a nice soft ambience. And Silver, you find that there are some other farmer types that are heading out that seem to have been loose friends with the guy that crashed onto the table earlier, and yeah, they seem to, the demeanor about them is they're fully expecting this guy to be like passed out outside somewhere. And they're just going to make sure that he's not in the middle of the road in the walkway where random other people might just, scamper over the top of him because he's a bigger fellow, being a half orc. And they are making their way outside. Lavinia, did you get any sort of? I know that Locke doesn't, but does Lavinia drink?
Only if it's fizzy.
Only if it's fizzy. Why do they have fizzy drinks? Oh, magic. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean it could be achieved through magic. Yeah.
Alternatively, I'll actually have Luvina go up to the bar and kind of order herself, let's say, a scotch.
Okay.
And then once she has it, she'll take a finger and she'll use shocking grasp to make it light up with electricity, and then she'll just dunk her electrocuted finger into the scotch until it's like sparking a bit, and then she'll drink that.
Doesn't that explode the glass? Or mud
No, she
that
didn't.
it's in?
She didn't put that much power into it.
Okay.
Oh, you're not casting it at 5th level?
It's a cantrip, first of all, so no. Shocking grasp is a cantrip.
Yeah.
I was just,
Yeah,
like,
and I do. I do. For a benefit of those spellcastery types that happen to be in the party, I'm perfectly fine with, since cantrips are things that you can use at will and do whenever you want, that if you playfully want to make use of a cantrip in a not completely normal desired form, then you can totally do that. This is mostly useful for the cantrips that are like Firebolt or Eldritch, the elementally cantrips. You can sort of play around with the elements a little bit, and
of course Eldritch Blast also for like luck double times as a way for him to have a phone call with his patron.
that as well. And
Oh yeah, it kind of does.
and it's if you have cantrips in your repertoire that could potentially be played around with a little bit, then yeah, I don't think our lovely little Kenku's cantrips can really do that because of the nature of the cantrips that he has, but still,
So here's
it's.
my question. Does anyone in the party notice Luvina deliberately fizzing up a drink by dunking an electrocuted
Well,
finger?
how close is she near
I mean, she's at the
Silver?
bar.
Yeah, well, Silver's like leaning against the bar and stuff and looking around the crowd.
Yeah, so Silver would see it.
And Luvina will stand out. I put an example of what she kind of looks like in chat.
Uh-huh.
Less revealing version of that outfit. So she stands out.
Especially with the vibrant purple hair.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Silver will most certainly see Luvina spark up her drink.
Hey, there you go. You're getting it.
Huh.
I have an entourage of
Interesting.
adoring fans, but I would probably, if it made any sort of sound or flash, I would probably notice it, look up, and then continue with my people that like me.
Oh, I'm sure there's people going like, "What the hell is she doing?"
Probably.
Oh yeah, right. Probably the barkeep just like, what the fuck?
Please don't damage my bugs.
And as Luvina finishes off the scotch, she sets it down. Oh, what do you mean? And then she like lights up her finger again with electricity. It just adds a bit of bubblegum fizz. I like Matrix fizzy.
Right.
Right.
So look at so Sapphire just spoke to her. Is that what just happened there?
It's just like Silver's just like looking and be like, you should probably have that chilled.
Ooh. Luvina's like gonna lean forward a bit. Your eyes are pretty.
Oh, thank you. You have colorful hair.
Oh, thank you. I do it myself. And then a little.
Would you
snake
like that
pops out of
chilled?
her hair.
Oh, you have a snake.
His
Well,
name's Murat. He says hi. Luvina like tickle Mura's chin a bit. It's a garter snake.
What? Hello, my name is Silver. Well, my name is Ira, but everyone calls me Silver.
Mura slowly retracts back into the hair.
Okay.
He also thinks your eyes are pretty. Anyways, what were you saying about chilled?
Slide your drink over here. She like puts her hand up. Huh?
She
I drank most of it already, but
slides it over.
She grabs a glass and she uses chill touch to chill it, and then slides it back.
kind of lost its fizz. I like it.
Yep.
Okay.
Fizzyless drink. I thought I'd see the day. I like it. Another.
Yep.
Are
And the
So can someone like look at her and be like, is this person old enough to drink?
Like, are you asking that, or are you just looking?
Just like it's just looking. She's just like, huh, is it a good idea?
Does Luvina notice this sideways look?
probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay. Are you trying to hide that you're sort of appraising her appearance a little bit, Silver?
A little bit.
Okay, roll deception, and then you roll insight.
Why
Brian.
does
Well, you're hiding
I
the
thought I
fact.
was No. I was like
I noticed. All right.
She notices.
she's just like, huh, okay. She's not making a face or anything. She's just like, huh, okay.
Luvina like start patting her face.
Is there something on my face?
Oh, no. Nothing at all.
Eyes slowly squint. Picks up the drink.
Okay.
And goes back to drinking.
All right. So
You are a
Um,
strange child, are you not?
Oh, thank you for noticing, though not really a child.
Oh, forgive me.
I'm 2 years short of being nice.
2 years short of being nice.
I'm 67.
Oh.
Do you get it now, people? Meme?
Yes.
I snuck it
Okay.
in there.
Out of character real quick. What race is this? Is your character?
Elf. Moon elf.
Elf. Moon elf, okay. I'd be like, oh.
That's why her ears are
Well.
pointy.
Yeah, I must have, like, overlooked that.
mhm. At this point, the crowd sort of eased up just a little bit. Both ones interacting with the Kenku and those in the overall general sense of the bar. It's getting later into the evening. It's about maybe 7 or 8. You have different people of the festivities of the Midsummer Festival that are getting ready to do their individual traditions depending on whatever patron they happen to worship. And it's just sort of filling out at this point. And the Vidalcan barkeep is sort of in not in a necessarily aggressive way, but he wants to sort of close down the tavern for the end of the festival so that he can go and do the particular tradition that he wishes to partake in. And he's sort of basically doing the not so aggressive version of you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right. Okay.
To sort of usher individuals out, and that includes the Kenku and everyone else in amongst the bar.
Luvina finishes off one more drink and then happily does so, skipping along, singing a bit more merrily to herself now she's got a tiny buzz going.
La 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 la.
Random breakout
Just like-
into the Smurfs tune all of a sudden here. Anyway,
Oh, Silver's gonna pick up your shield and make her way outside.
and Kenku can make his way outside as well.
Yep.
And the three of you sort of have made your way out. Loosely spoke to each other, at least between Silver and Luvina, but not so much the Kenku. I mean, you guys saw the Kenku's little entourage of fans, and now he's going out at about the same time you are in amongst the, last to sort of head on out. But you have your games and other various activities that you can wish to partake in, if you wish to do so.
Kind of games.
There is a little ring toss game. Use silver ring, little pole rod, and drink. It's like horseshoes, but with rings. And there is it's similar to the old like balloon popping games where you have like a little dart. And there is one other one that appears to be a sort of open. It's actually further towards the back, up this way. And I just don't have a necessary token for it because they wouldn't actually have a stall for this. And there is in the back behind these shops next to the mayor's house. And it's you have a like wood, like a little ring, almost looks like what you'd have for like the horseshoe contest, but there's no pole, and a sack of some sort nearby, and there's a sort of older dwarven individual that's waiting over there. It seems to be some sort of perhaps tossing base game. And actually, all three of you give me perception. Sure.
19.
And you dropped something. Good job.
I dropped my knife. Yes. Holy shit!
16.
The fuck plus 12 perception for the bird. Holy hell!
Yeah.
That is some feats you got going on there.
It's called Bard. Holy crap. Anyway.
Dang.
Dude.
Remember when you asked if people noticed Luvina? Yep. Yes.
Yeah, it's not necessarily hidden all that well, but sort of off in the corner next to the bar, there seems to be a sort of cloaked figure. Doesn't really have a stall nearby, but there's this cloaked individual sort of hiding in the shadows of the corner in the night air, and they have a small little it's almost like, for lack of a better way to put it to get the proper imagery, it's almost like the corner side people who corner side salesmen that have like a little suitcase of items that they are trying to sell or something like that, and they're just leaning up against the side of the tavern, and both Lavinia and our bird person actually do notice that this individual appears to be they're cloaked so that they're hiding a lot of their features, but you two pick up on that it happens to be a drow.
Ooh.
But yes, you have your games, you have the random drow. Silver just sees a sort of shadowy.
there
Hmm?
any strength games?
The closest to a strength game would probably be the sack toss thing that's back here.
Sure.
And
Luvina will tag along too. Why not?
Yeah, she just like wanders around. Do 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 do.
Although she kind of gives the drow look from it, like,
Drow wearing dark robe leaning against tavern middle of the night. Hard to resist. But I'm not in the mood for trouble.
so she does kind of prunk up towards the sack toss game.
Yes.
So from my infrequent in and out of town experiences in the area, would I be able to perceive that a drow is very uncommon, or
for Yuki Egi, a drow is fairly uncommon. Yes.
okay?
Do you follow the other two to the sack game, or you go try to talk to the drow?
So I would probably walk over towards the games and see what all the hubbub was about.
Yeah. Okay. So you go over to the sack toss game that is roughly back here somewhere.
All right. On,
Sure.
on the way, Luvina will kind of sidle up to Silver and say,
So, Miss Pretty Eyes,
Yes.
what's your name?
I told you my name is Ira, but all my friends call me Silver.
Oh, must have missed that part. Sorry. I was busy squinting at you when you chilled my drink. I'm Luvina.
Pleasure to meet you.
La, 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 la.
Yes, Silver goes up to was it a dwarf man?
It is a dwarf man. Yeah, dwarf male.
Good sir, how much is it to play this fine game of yours?
That'll be three silver, and if you can make it into the ring into the ring of dirt there, you will get your
How
silver
far
back.
away is the ring of dirt?
It's about maybe 15 feet away from where he is standing with the sack.
And you said 3 silver?
3 silver. Yep.
Sure, why not?
You get 3 chances to try, and of course, being that this game isn't going to be super simple, you will have to make the toss backwards. Judge-
Oh,
Judge
I know
judge the distance and make your toss backwards, and see if you make it into the square back there.
I smell 3 natural ones in a row.
I know. I was gonna say I know where this is from, but okay. So I guess
Carnival game, so.
yeah. So Silver sits there and like gives him the coin, and then goes up to the bag and she like gets a hold of it. What kind of feel does she get from this bag?
It's mostly actually like grains. Effectively, it's a sack of potatoes, for lack of a better way to put it. But it is pretty dense and rather unwieldy to pick up, unless if you don't have the strength to back it up, which Silver does in spades, so she's fine. But
Maybe. Okay. So first one. What should I roll?
you are going to be rolling a this would technically count as a yeah, we'll just go with that. Strength at disadvantage, because you're sort of having to lob it over your head. It's not exactly a ranged attack.
Okay.
Strength check at disadvantage.
Jesus.
That's a 7. Not a
Wow.
natural 1. Oh.
That is not a natural one. Very close though. So you're not. You do get 3 tries with your first batch of silver, and you're not necessarily firmly set in how to toss it effectively over your head. So your first toss is sort of poor judgment on that part, and it goes a lot shorter when you toss it backwards, but you do get another try.
Mm-hmm.
So, make another strength check at disadvantage again.
Okay.
Really?
It's
Wow.
another 7.
Yes,
Jeez.
and I don't
Um,
call it disadvantage. Anyway.
my Kinku's been watching her try and do this, and doing the stereotypical bird thing randomly. Head looking sideways and switching which eye I'm using to look at her, and I go up and sort of tap her on the shoulder. I'm assuming she looks at me in my direction. I start sort of cawing and cooing and random bird sounds and sort of gesturing with my hands, but you probably can't make heads or tails of it. And I'm going to use a bardic inspiration to grant her a D8 on her next strength check.
Just like Silver's just like slightly frustrated that she's not getting it for. So it's a D8.
Go ahead and roll your last strength check at disadvantage, and then roll a d8. Nice.
19.
There you go. All right. So you sort of get set up with the toss. You got a firmer grip on it this time, and there's just, you're not quite sure why, but there's a endearing quality to all his random gestures, and then you're just like, yeah, there we go. And you make it into the little spot of dirt, and the dwarf's like, very good, very good. It's a little difficult at first, I know, but you've at least earned your money back at the very least. And he hands you the 3 silver that you handed him before back to you.
Okay, thank you.
And then he looks over to Luvina and he's, you really want to give this a try?
Luvina pauses for a second, stops mid sort of extended hop, looks at one of her arms, kind of curls it a bit like a muscular person, and then grins at him. Yeah! And runs up and just throws 3 silver at him.
Alrighty.
I'm having a lot of fun with this character already. I haven't even thrown any spells around yet, except for using electricity to make a drink have some fizz.
Alright. So you have your 3 silver and go ahead and make a strength roll at strength check at disadvantage. It's a little bit more a given that when you go to pick it up is a lot heavier for you than it was for silver.
That's a 6.
Nope. A little bit more unwieldy than you thought.
Alright, let's try this again. Mara, stop whispering. You're distracting me.
5.
So, in a similar manner, observing what's going on, I go up and I do similar alien gestures, and you probably can't make out heads or tails of what I'm actually saying, but somehow it inspires greatness with them.
Luvina talks back to saying random crap in Goblin. Just like reciting a poem in Goblin, just being friendly.
Like, what is a word or a phrase that you would say to me?
I don't know. Like Luvina just, like she's just reciting a wholesome poem back to you in Goblin.
When you're done, I sort of nod and recite the last line back to you.
Ooh.
Which is in your voice.
Which is in your voice.
A mockingbird.
Roll strength check at disadvantage with a +8. Plus 1d8.
Alright.
18.
15 total.
Yep, you do the same said thing. You make it into the hole and you make your 3 silver back.
Luvina sort of crouched down in front of a Kenku.
Thank you, mockingbird. I don't know what you did, but thanks.
And then Murrah just kind of pokes his head out, fork tongue flicks out, tickles the tip of the Kenku's beak, and then pulls back into her hair before she stands up.
That was fun.
All right, so
Refreshing playing a dork.
so I suppose it's my turn then, and it's a rather large sack of potatoes, I assume.
Yes.
All right. So I'll pull out what it was, 3 silver to try,
3 silver to try.
and so I'll pay him. And am I able to even lift it?
Yeah, you can.
All right.
Barely. It's a little. It's about as unwieldy for you as it was for Luvina, but yeah.
So I do a strength check at disadvantage.
Strength check at disadvantage. Yep. You rolled a 12 with your first one. You get much further than they did on their first try, but you do not make it into the thing.
All right. So I guess I will try my second attempt.
No. You
So
go
giant.
you go to pick it up and you throw it and it comes right back down and pops on your head.
Oh no. Ooh. Silver just slightly cringes like, ooh.
So I will step inside of said giant sack of potatoes, and I will stand on top of giant sack of potatoes, and I will sort of perch there for a moment, turn my head sideways, caca, and I will go over to the dwarf and shake his hand and sort of walk away with my head looking up. I'm done.
Aww.
Aw.
Fair enough. And yeah. So you enjoy the little sack of potatoes tossing game, and you have sort of more met each other in this little escapade of sorts. And both Silver and Luvinia have a little bird person that is somewhat sad because he failed a lot. But you didn't actually get hurt from it falling on your head. It didn't fall very far, so it just sort of it sort of winded you for like a split second. But other than that, you're fine.
What's your name, Mockingbird?
I sort of look around sort of sporadically and look at you, and I say, Wesley?
Wesley. I like it. Hello, Wesley.
She kind of pats you on the head a few times.
Caw. Caw. Random bird noise.
Yes.
You too.
Indeed. All right. So where do our lovely little trio go from here? You have other games to explore. It's getting a little bit darker, so some of them are starting to pack up. And you see, actually, you're nearby the mayor's house, so you guys see the big Warforged comes out of the mayor house, and he has this. It looks like a It looks essentially like a wooden box of some sort, vaguely, like loosely mechanical in at least how it sounds when he moves with it. Although that might just be his like armor body that is him, sort of clinking around. And he comes out with it and sort of just sets it on the big, long table here. And he sees the three of you nearby, gives you all a nod and a smile, which is ever so slightly creepy, being Warforged. But yeah,
Uncanny Valley.
a little bit, yeah.
Iron Man's teeth are creepy.
And yeah, so he sets it up, and he sort of messes and fiddles with it for a second, and then presses a button on the side, and it effectively plays music, sort of like a jukebox, but in that sort of I don't remember what it was called. It was like the musical instrument that was like a Rube Goldberg machine of a bunch of different parts moving at once that made music from sound effects. It's that sort of thing. Can't remember what it's called. Kenneth showed it to me forever ago. I don't remember what it's called.
Are you talking about the Winter Garden?
Yeah, I believe so.
Winter Cotton? The marble machine.
Yeah, that. It's similar to that. It's very sort of noise making, but loosely music in nature. And you see a lot of the other people are gathering around. Luvinia specifically, give for me a perception check.
21.
Okay. You notice that the like small little smattering of kids that you had seen before that were sort of walking around, they're actually not among the group right now. Among the crowd as he's coming up to set up for this banquet table. And it's more adults. There's still a few kids, but not near as many as you saw earlier. And no one's really seemed to pay that particular element mind. You don't see anybody in the immediate vicinity that are looking for the kids or anything else. Do you say anything to noticing that?
I'll turn to the others and say,
Wait here 1 second.
I'll pull out the broom that I just had on my back, stick it under my butt, and then fly up into the air. It's a flying broom.
Okay.
So like she just holds it under her backside and then just like just lifts straight up. I'm using that to look around and get a better view of the land.
Goodbye, tiny person.
So yeah, I now have I'd say I go up about 50 feet so I can get a better look around. And just
Okay.
see if I spot the kids anywhere.
Alright. Roll me another perception check then.
Alrighty.
This time with advantage because you're going up to get a better view. And looking for something specific. Okay.
25.
It's sort of off on the edges of town. And you're a little too far away to actually hear any sort of noise that is coming from it. But if you look off towards the edge of town, you barely get the sense of this sort of smaller, perhaps gnomish or other child individual that is wandering around outside, seemingly frantically, that's maybe 20, 30 feet away from like the city proper. You sort of pick out her like somewhat curly red hair that she's got in and amongst the farmland.
Let me double check one of my cantrips here. Okay, under 20 feet on that. All right. Luvina is going to glance down at the other two, gonna wiggle her fingers a bit, and then she's going to cast message and send a message to Warp Silver, and the message says,
Hey, there's a scared gnome kid running around at the edge of town. I'm gonna go check it out.
and then she kind of points if they look up so that they know what direction she's going, and then she'll just take hold of her broom, sit up straight, and just kind of drifts off in that direction.
Okay. As Silver goes and follows.
Do you say anything to your bird friend?
Oh, come along if you want to.
Don't say anything about what's going on. Just like, come along if you want to.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like the recipe for adventure because I have no clue what's going on. Sure. I'm in.
All right.
All right. So you have sort of flown your way to the outskirts of town down this way. And you see, do you actually land down near this gnomish person?
I'll kind of I'll observe for a second, and then kind of lower myself down to be about, I'd say, 10 or 15 feet up off the ground. I'd say about 20 feet away from him. And say,
Hey, are you okay?
Oh, it should be noted that as you're making your way closer, you start to hear her calling, and she's calling what sounds like a almost random list of names. She's like, Eva, Molly, Bran, all sorts of assortment of names. And as you land down, she turns up to look, and she's, I lost them. I need someone to find them.
Your friends?
Luvina, lower all the way down to the ground, hop off her broom, and stick it back on her back.
Also, how are you flying?
My stick.
She points at her broom.
It takes me places.
Right. Okay.
This broom was made for flying. That's just what it'll do.
Okay. Okay. So I had me and a friend of mine brought the kids up this way because we were going to just, enjoy the festival. We come from a little bit further away. We're not usually here from Yukiegi, but the kids wanted to really enjoy the festival, and I was out here. I came out here to give them a little bit of fresh air, turn my back for merely like maybe even a minute, and then turn back, and the kids were gone. And I don't want to. I don't think they would have traveled too far away from the city, but if they did, she gets this look on her face, like this sort of disgruntled look, and she's like, my bodyguard is a little indisposed right now, so I can't really go venturing off to look for them.
Silver comes around the corner. Luvina?
One sec.
I reach into my pouch, pull out a sheet of parchment and a little quill. I'm assuming I have those. Let me double check.
Yeah, you would. I would assume.
Yeah, okay. See, I'm pulling those out.
Okay, what are their names? Eva, Molly, Bran, I heard those. What others?
It's several kids. Molly, Bran, Eva, and she gives you all the kids' names. She would have them, but I, as DM, didn't come up with random 12 names. I just came up with 4.
Looking for Cloudo children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, so Luvina's dutifully writing down each and every single name as they're being listed off, and maybe even a fun fact about them. Geolocation, a name sounds fun.
All right.
Yes.
All right, and they went missing around here-ish.
Yes, they were out in amongst the farmland, and they were just playing and interacting with each other. I turned my back for 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, all of them are gone. So,
You see, you shouldn't do that. Kids are kids, and kids do things.
think I don't know that?
I like kids. I'll find them, though. I like kids.
I'll put away the list. Okay. I'll stick the broom back under my butt, lift about 3 feet in the air.
All right.
And then I'll spin around and look at Silver and Wesley as they're approaching.
There you are.
Hi.
What is going on over here?
There are 12 missing kids. I'm gonna go look for them because I like kids.
12
help?
missing kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I got their names and 1 or 2 of their favorite candies right here.
I pull out the list and show it.
And their favorite candies?
Wouldn't hurt if I have any.
And which ones are potentially okay with electrified drinks and
No, that's my fetish.
Rolls up the list.
Okie dokie.
Luvina lifts a bit high into the air.
Onwards to hunt for missing kids. Vroom.
And then she's going to sail over the fields looking at the kids.
As she flies away, the gnome sort of looks back to Silver and Wesley, and it's just, well, she may have an easy time finding him. She can think like a kid for sure.
I guess. How long have they been missing?
Maybe I don't know how long I've been looking here for them. I wouldn't have expected them to get too far. Maybe 20, 30 minutes, perhaps.
Okay.
so what's the baseline speed of a child? Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway. So, you make your way out in and amongst the farmlands and grass. What are you using to try to track these kids down, Lavinia, since you're in the lead on your broom?
Well, first of all, my eyes, obviously. I got dark
Duh.
vision being an elf, so I'm looking out and around with that. Every so often I'm calling out, seeing if any of them can hear. Let's hear. I don't think minor illusion can be used to make my voice louder, so that's thaumaturgy, which I do not have. So I'm just kind of flying around, calling out names, looking around, and in the back of my head, I'm kind of going through the options, like,
Okay, so bunch of kids went missing. How could that have happened? Parent turns around for 1 minute and then all of a sudden they're gone. That means that they prepped, or maybe someone offered them candy or something else fun, or spiders. That's no good.
just going through options like that, narrowing shit down in our head.
Roll perception.
All right. That is a 10.
This is a 10.
Plus 6.
Alright. It's getting to be darker, and you do have dark vision, but that's only, grayscale and 60 feet. You don't really see much in the way of anything to indicate which direction they may have went. Not easily, no. Silver, are you trying?
Silver's gonna be like looking around on the ground. Yeah.
Yep. And I would assume Wesley is as well.
Please.
So
Please.
perception.
Yep,
Yeah.
perception.
Use that 12.
Oh, thank goodness.
Wesley, with your sort of perception and tracking abilities, you manage to sort of looking through the underbrush in and around the farmlands. You see it was pretty well hidden in the brush. You see this like discarded like cloth bandana that has been wrapped around the neck like a little not like tied tight, but tied like a little sort of like the way a cowboy would wear a bandana, and it's just wrapped around this little teddy bear that's probably a little less than 1.5 feet tall. It's a rather big teddy bear, and as far as teddy bears go, and it's just sort of discarded and hiding in amongst the underbrush.
And I'm the one that sees that.
Yep, you're the one that finds that.
Okay. So in like manner as a bloodhound would do, I go over to it and I sort of look at it, and then I turn back to my traveling peoples and I start going crazy to get their attention to come over and look at this. And then when they get close, I point to it.
What is it, Wesley? Oh.
Kind of leans really far forward on her broom, Harry Potter style, except
Sure.
for exaggerated, and just kind of like So her room is at like a 45-degree angle, and her face is just like pointed right at the teddy bear. She's just hanging onto it with like her ankles and her toes and her hands. Just
Yep. It's just a teddy bear. A little bandana wrapped around it.
I knew I should have learned to detect magic.
I will wait until Silver arrives.
She does eventually come up.
Silver, you found a little teddy bear with a bandana wrapped around it.
Does it speak?
Hello, Mr.
Uh.
Teddy Bear. Do you talk?
There is no response.
She sort of statically spins in place and looks at Silver.
Yamura says no.
Does anyone in this party of spellcasters perhaps have detect magic?
I do. But I don't know if I want to use a spell slot.
Alright then.
Look, I'm multi-classing, so I'm going to be a little stingy about my spell slots.
Fair enough. Alright. So, what is your assessment of teddy bear? You have found this teddy bear and not much else around it.
Can I look it over?
Yes, you can.
What do I use? Investigation?
Sure.
And Luvina will investigate the surrounding terrain and environment.
10. It is a teddy bear with a bandana.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You do get the sense from sort of looking it over more carefully that it's sort of a rather older teddy bear in make. It seems to be sort of ever so loosely starting to fall apart if you didn't handle it with care entirely. And with your 20 investigation, you see this like little, you do find nearby with the nearby the brush, there's like this little what could have been some sort of a scuffle in amongst the dirt, and you find near that scuffle and near that other bush there is a discarded random shoe, just one shoe, rather small shoe.
Shoo. Maybe
Shoe?
he left us a trail.
Oh no.
I'm going to look around for any other discarded things.
So roll investigation again, sure. You're looking around for more stuff. And other people are free to do this as well if they want.
22.
22 is good. You start to, pick up on the sense of a trail because after you find the shoe, you go a little bit further and you see, like discarded, like torn cloth, some sort, like ratty, tattered cloth, and it all seems to be vaguely going in a sort of north, or not north, sort of southwestish kind of direction. It's like this little mini trail. And Wesley, with your 26, you also start to pick up on that, and all three of you are able to get a general sense of a kind of trail. It's just not with tracks. It's just with like the started cloth. There's the teddy bear, the shoe. There's a random marble that doesn't seem like it belongs. It's also a very pretty marble, but it's a marble. Nice little shade of blue. And it seems to be indicating for you a sort of southwest-ish kind of direction.
All right. And Luvina is going to follow this trail.
Are you hopping back on your broom to follow?
I never got off.
All right.
I ain't leaving tracks for someone to follow. You kidding? There's
All
a
right.
method to my madness.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. So y'all sort of follow and make your way. All three of you give me perception checks.
Oh boy. That's a 21.
Nope.
That is a 3. 22. 22, 21, and 3. So Silver does not see a thing.
Nope. She's just like, where is this tiny child going on a broom?
Actually, it's actually getting closer to dark. Make that roll again, Wesley. You don't have dark vision.
Oh, disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Perception. So 22.
Okay, still 22.
Alright. Damn.
Alright, so you guys are sort of making your way in a sort of southwestward direction and start to see that this trail is, rather long, and eventually you come upon it's like this, and as you come up here into this, like, bush tree, sort of underbrush tree in the dark, it's very, very soft, so it was barely noticeable to those who didn't have high perception, which everybody did except for Silver. There is a small human girl resting under the tree, and she is crying, and it's soft because she's scared and doesn't want to make a whole lot of noise. But you guys would hear it except for Silver.
The rest of the world is kind of going to disappear for Luvina, and she is going to slowly make an approach and put on a soft, kind of warm smile, try to make herself look as non-threatening as possible. And then as she lowers herself really low to the ground, still on her broom, and as she's drawing closer, like, can she hide in the grass, kind of, as she's approaching?
Okay. Are you actually attempting to hide from the little girl?
I'm trying not to be big and threatening. And I'm trying to
Okay.
at least conceal visual of me in time a little closer.
What about Wesley? How does he approach, or what is he doing?
I would probably follow Luvina. Maybe a pace or two behind.
Do you guys tell
Luvina,
either
where
one
are
of
you
you?
going?
Yeah.
She's saying this out loud.
The,
I lean
the-
over and I quietly say, "Coo, coo, coo, coo."
the,
What
the
does
little
who mean?
the little girl sort of perks up at having heard Silver, because she's not that far away, and she sees you, who are not trying to necessarily be stealthy, but you're being non-threatening, and she sort of backs up into the up against the tree.
Luvina will kind of poke her head out to the grass and kind of smile.
Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you.
Not
No. What's your name?
Molly.
Ah, it's Molly, okay.
Hi, Molly. We've been looking for you. People back in Ukiah get right about you.
She sort of she nods a little bit, and but if I run away again, that they'll know, and then they'll hurt everybody else. I have to hide, but I can't leave.
Who? What
This-
happened? Did someone take you?
I don't know. It was some guy. He was big and tall, and he looked sort of mean, and he did something to all of us, and he made all of us, like, follow him, and we did, and then, like, I tripped and I fell, and I lost my shoe. She see that she only has one shoe. Which, by the way, she seems to be probably a 5 or 6-year-old human girl. And she, like, I fell and I tripped, and then it was like I knew something weird was going on, and I started to try to get everybody to listen, and as soon as I did, this weird, like, monster looking thing came out of nowhere, and it was calling at me, and I tried to run away, and then I ended up here, hiding, and it gave up, and it went back into the, and she points off to the west-ish direction to this, technically what is a building over here. Although it looks crappy, I know, but that's fine.
I repeat specifically the phrase monster-looking thing in her voice back to her, and then sort of tilt my head in like a curious sort of manner.
She sort of blinks and jerks a little bit, and she's that.
It's okay. He's the sweetest.
Oh, okay.
Talking bird, he mimics things. Mockingbird. His name is Wesley.
Wesley.
Wesley, with a question mark at the end.
Wesley. Okay.
Wesley.
They. I don't know what it was. It was weird. It had these big long tails and claws, and it was really, really scary. And I barely got away. I don't know what is. Can you go in there and you can get the rest of them? Maybe snap them out of it?
Right, your friends, they're all in that building, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around a bit. Are there any like patches of big rocks or boulders or child-sized stones lying around that are kind of grayish brown in color?
Yeah, I don't have them shown on the map, but probably.
Okay, I will have Luvina gently usher the child over to one of them,
Okay, sit here. Let's look here, right between these two. Okay.
and I'll pull out my backpack and pull out my bedroll, specifically my blanket, which is kind of a grayish brown color. And then I'll hold it out to her.
Okay, now, hold this over you and hold perfectly still. Pretend you are a rock. And try not to let it flap in the wind. Stand on it if you have to, okay?
Okay, I can do that.
Alright.
I reach into my my bag and start rummaging around, and I produce a small teddy bear, which I then walk over and carefully give to her.
She very much immediately takes it, and she's hugs it close to her. And yeah, she smiles very brightly to you.
I sort of nod and then return.
Child-sized rock. Boop.
Alright. And you'll go get your friends and then get you all home. Sound good?
Okay. Be careful. I don't know what scary.
It's okay. I'm a grown-up. Scary is nothing.
I wink at her, and then Murrah pops his head out of my hair to look at the child curiously, tongue flicks a bit.
She once again she sort of like
What? Murrah!
She shoves a snake back into her hair.
Stop chanting in Abyssal. It's rude.
Okay.
Alright, so hide yourself with blanket.
Then she'll turn back to Silver and Wesley and say,
Okay, so bunch of kids in that building over there, taken by some big stupid guy. We're gonna go get the kids and electrocute the big stupid guy. You in?
Sure.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
and then she's going to keep going on her broom right over there.
Okay.
Silver
So-
will follow.
How are y'all approaching this building? Just like in the middle of the night and flying there and walking there? Are you going to go stealth, or what are you thinking?
I'm stealth flying if that's a thing I can do.
Mm,
I don't know
does this
how.
what is okay? So how much does this window have buildings? How big is this building? What kind of building is it? Give us details here, man.
All right. Right. So it does actually, though you couldn't really tell from my representation because horrible, whatever. It does actually look vaguely, like that of a large, almost temple-like structure, though not quite, and it's sort of in ruins a little bit. It's sort of like a ruined, like the remains of a ruined castle, just minus the towers. And it's got windows, but they're windows to towers that are mostly like blocked off and open. And if you fly up, you can see and you don't even have to roll a perception check because you're probably going to go close enough to it for your dark vision to notice it. You do notice that there are very large, like statue structures that a lot of them are missing pieces, like an arm or a weapon, but they're very large, very tall, and are in amongst the ruins of this place. And you can sort of see inside, and you see. Well, no, your dark vision is not good enough for you to catch all the details of that. But yeah, you see these large like statue structures, a few windows, but it's like if you was to go into one of the windows in the up above, you probably couldn't make your way easily down to the structure down below, unless you like flew or jumped theoretically. But
I'll have Luvina come back down to the ground and finally get off her broom and put it on her back.
Hey, Luvina, do you mind if I go first on this one?
Go ahead.
Okay,
You
so
have the armor.
yeah, she's gonna go first, and then just before she decides to approach the place, she actually flicks her hood up, and she's gonna go stealth.
Luvina will also stealth.
I will as well, as long as I don't break stealth to follow right behind Luvina, slowly like poking and tapping at the flying broom thing, the thing that actually creates flight. But yeah, I'm
I'll
stealthing.
let you play with it later.
all
She
right.
just calls it her stick.
Silver got stealth with advantage because of her cloak. So 15, 15, 17, 23. That's really well. Are you guys going to approach from the front door?
Not as well.
Yeah, it just kind of like try to push the door open from the side.
Yeah, I'm letting Silver take the lead on this one.
It's sort of a ruined stone door, but and would be harder for someone of a lower brow strength. But Silver's good, so you sort of push the door away. It sort of across the stone ever so slightly. You did a good job on your stealth, and you make your way inside.
If anyone tries to spot me, they have disadvantage too. So.
Yes, I know. Silver in the front. These two further behind.
I'm following Luvina, playing with the broom on her back.
And just periodically asking him and barely even a whisper to stop and telling him that he can play with it later.
All right.
My stick. Later.
So, make a perception check, as well as your stealth as you're going inside here.
Oh, we all reroll stealth.
No, you're not re-rolling stealth. You're rolling perception.
Oh, finally, 20.
24?
29. All right. Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay. So, you wander in and you see that the like upper part of this ruined temple looks like it's been, sort of decimated and old and in sort of disarray, but the lower part that you guys are entering into, it's a little bit more put together. And you find once you go inside, you find a row of beds, like actual like cots, and I will change the map. And acting as sentry, going back and forth among these cots, are a pair of sort of devilish and infernal-looking creatures. They have not noticed you because of your well-to-do stealth.
How do we want to do this?
Thinking. Silver is going to go off to the side here. Does she see anything on the cots?
You do actually notice that there is. You can't really. You did. What was your perception again? 20? Yeah.
20.
So yeah, you see that there's obviously someone sleeping in the cots, or at least most of the ones up in the front. And there's like rustling of movements, and you get the sense that it very much it is likely that it is a small child resting in the cot.
Okay. Alright. Is anyone else going to do anything?
Yeah, you all notice these little devilish creatures wandering back and forth.
Are they like patrolling back and forth, or?
Yeah, they're sort of acting as sentry in amongst the kids.
I'm tempted to use animate objects on the beds to dump the kids out and attack the devil things. But I will hold off on that because I don't want to accidentally hurt the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading something. If I use minor illusion, it says a sound or an image, but it says an image of an object. It doesn't really say image of a person. Yeah, it's not a person.
I mean, I've seen minor illusion be used to create images of creatures in Critical Role before, I believe.
What?
Wasn't minor illusion used by Not in Critical Role to make an image of a person?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't really say anything like it wouldn't specifically.
Right.
I guess it just would. It's visual or auditory. It's not both, so it's not like they could whistle or something like that. I would have to do one or the other. I was thinking, since I know what the little girl who was outside looks like, I was thinking that I could maybe make a minor image of her appear like over here to see if maybe they would, in their patrolling, see her and go to investigate. Or see how they would react to a girl that they missed and obviously do not have in this room, randomly just like cowering at the corner of the bed over here,
Yeah.
playing hero.
I mean, you could.
I don't have a very convenient way to convey, hey guys, do you think I should do this?
Right.
So I guess I'm looking at my party. Do they look like they're about to do something, or are you guys still just assessing the situation?
Luvina is still just assessing the situation. She's kind of like wiggling her fingers in front of her face a bit and kind of staring up at the ceiling like she's in the thought, and her kind of shifting uneasily on her feet. Antsy because she wants to walk on the roof, but she can't.
So since I'm beside
Question.
Okay.
Are these humanoids?
But the devils?
Yes.
They count as fiends, not humanoids.
Damn.
So since I'm beside Luvina, I'm going to sort of point in this direction over here. And when she is looking where I'm pointing, I'm going to tap her again, and I'm going to prestidigitation to make a tiny little glow in my hand, and then I'm going to minor illusion and make an image of the girl that we all saw in the field, ducking behind the corner of the bed, like obviously like right here, but ducking, so hopefully she's not very super visible. But I want to make sure that Lucina sees me do that.
Okay. And kind of follows along with this and is like,
Ooh, okay, a distraction. Okay.
I sort of tilt my head sideways.
Silver.
Hmm.
I point at Wesley.
Wesley is making a distraction, I think. That is what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caca.
I don't speak bird, but okay.
Yes.
That was more her saying, like, a nod would have sufficed, but
Yeah.
So, I guess we do a thing when distraction happens.
Right.
I mean, I have a spell I can do where I make a bunch of purple darts shoot out, and it always hits every time, always, without fail. I can use that if you think that would help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you distraction. I blast fiendy thingies with purple sparklies when they're over there. And you, what do you do?
Silver pulls out her sword
Stabby time. I like it.
and stuff and just be like, cause a distraction. I have an idea.
It's all you, Wesley.
I nod and look back at the girl, and let's see if I remember how we did this. I'd like her to sort of walk in this sort of direction, very slow, very casual sort of walk, nervously looking to the right, like as in hoping that they don't see her, but is obviously just walking slowly across here.
Okay. All right. So, imagine that they would probably notice this fairly easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
oh yeah, they see that.
So does anyone in this party speak Infernal?
Nope.
I speak Common, Elven, Goblin, and Halfling.
And I know Wesley doesn't know Infernal in any way. Alright.
I'm not a starling, I'm a raven.
I don't get it.
If you've never heard a starling caw. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry, go
God.
ahead. Yeah.
Alright. So
Look it up sometime.
Looking it up.
from the two devilish creatures, you hear a sort of like infernal growlish sort of a voice, and they both go to immediately investigate this image of Molly over here. She was walking to the to the right.
Mm-hmm. And as they change from normal patrol, I could probably perceive pretty easily that they're going to investigate that they noticed. So I would probably have her maybe pick up speed and run to this corner.
Yep. All right. What's everybody else doing? They are going towards
Okay.
the thing.
I'm waiting
Silver's
for Silver
gonna
to do her thing.
She's gonna step a little forth and stuff with her sword out. She sits there and flicks her wrist with it. And she shoots out ice knife.
Ooh.
Oh.
I create a shard of ice and I fling it at one of the creatures in range. Makes a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 piercing damage. On a hit or miss, the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
So.
So I'm firing at this one right here.
Right.
Uh-huh. So 14 to hit.
14 to hit.
Would you get advantage because stealth?
Technically, yeah.
Okay, I'll roll it again.
Nice.
22.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely hit. The 5 damage hits the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and then it explodes, and dex save from both to take 10. So the first one made it, but his buddy didn't.
Yes. So that one takes 10 cold damage.
Right? Does you two, since you are also still stealthed, do Luvinia and Wesley have anything they want to do for their surprise round? Once this is
Magic missile.
once this is done, we will then have combat.
Alright.
All right, let's see.
My surprise round, I guess, would consist, now that the illusion has done her job, I would have her, because she's visual only with no audio at all, I would have her ever so silently blow a raspberry while winking, and poof, and she's gone.
All right, so this is magic missile at 2nd level, meaning 4 darts. I will send 2 of them at one and 2 of them at the other. So it's 1d4 plus 1 twice for each of them, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's see here. So that first one takes 6 damage. And then the second one takes 4.
Right.
And the way it kind of happens is Luvina like points her index fingers like finger guns and just pew 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 pew. And there you go. This little purple dart shoot out and hit him.
Alrighty. So we now have initiative.
9 for me, but for whatever reason I didn't
8.
turn order.
You guys' surprise round happens. They look to the where you guys have come up, and I'm going to put Wesley before the devil because you guys have the same initiative total, and I like to put players before monsters. All right. This devil here is the one that was better, and he is going to charge up to Silver, who is closest.
Hi there.
Yes, hi.
Great accent.
Hello, hello.
Alrighty. How are you doing today, Governor?
All right then.
No. Alright, come on, bring it on.
Yeah. So multi-attack because fun.
Oh boy.
Because this has a sort of devilish clawed, and you see this devilish creature especially now that he's come closer and more, central to your focus. He is just covered in spines. He looks terrifying. And he will lash out with his tail and his claws.
Okay.
Alrighty. 17 misses.
Yep.
Because AC 20.
Impressive.
10.
Misses.
And...
Shit.
Oh no.
Alright.
It critted on her.
It did. Yay.
And which is the what? Tail attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 8 doubles to 16 plus the 3 becomes 19 damage. And he is right in your face.
Well then.
Wesley.
Well. Charm person, that'd be disadvantage because we are sort of fighting them. Well, yeah, we are sort of fighting them.
You are, and it's also not a person. This is a devil, not a humanoid.
True. So hold person wouldn't work on him either.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at earlier, was hold person.
Well, having seen that Luvina is sort of a bag of tricks, and Silver has unstealthed. I guess that attack would have canceled that too. Hmm.
I mean, you're still sort of stealthed, but they're not paying attention to you
Yeah.
anyway. So,
Yeah. I guess I will viciously mock this devil right here,
okay.
beside of Silver.
Hmm.
So I just clicky.
Alrighty. And what does your vicious mockery sound like, sir?
You worthless sack of feathers.
Okay.
Alright then. Yeah. 9 psychic damage to the devil.
Z-
Alright.
Bazinga.
And it is the other devil's turn.
Glorious zinger.
Who's going to come down here and try to smack at Silver again.
Oh boy.
Because biggest threat. Garth.
Yes.
Nope. Nope.
No.
And no.
No.
Yep. Lavinia.
It's just like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, their claws and tails are literally like ching, ching, ching against the armor.
Question. These beds, since there are people in them, does that count that they are being worn or carried?
I mean, technically,
Beds
sure.
are the people in them.
Because if that counts as them being worn or carried, then the spell I want to use I can't use.
What are you wanting to do?
I want to use animate objects on the beds and make them fight for me.
I mean, the bed is not going to be necessarily worn or carried per se, not the bed itself. If you did it with like the blankets, then I could almost fudge that, but not the bed.
Okay, so let's see here. It reads here, objects come to life at your command. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. Medium targets count as 2 objects. Large targets count as 4 objects. Huge targets count as 8 objects. You can't animate any objects larger than huge. Each target animates and becomes a creature under your control until the spell ends or until it reduces 0 hit points. As a bonus action, you can mentally command any creature you made with this spell if the creature is within 500 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures, you can command any or all of them at the same time, issuing the same command to each one. You decide what action the creature will take and where it will move during its next turn, or you can issue a general command such as to guard a particular chamber or corridor. If you issue no commands, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until its task is complete. And would you say these beds count as medium or large?
Probably, since they're somewhat smaller cots, more designed for smaller creatures, I would say probably medium beds.
All right, then that means I can animate 5 of them in total. Almost within 120 feet. So, all right. So, I'm going to have Luvina. That's here. I'm going to have her kind of step over here a bit to be kind of central, and then sort of clap a few times.
Rise and shine!
And then, upon doing that, the nearest 5 beds will become animated, and she will command them to help Silver. So I will just draw a little purple circle next to the ones I am animating.
Keep Silver safe.
Attack anything that's attacking Silver. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those beds are now animated, and I will go ahead and send you their stats. All right.
Beds have stats?
They're people that had air quotes.
The objects have stats. They have 40 hit points and armor class of 13. Their attack is +5 to hit, and they do 2d6 + 1 damage. They have a strength of 10 and a dex of 12. Because they are medium objects, and that's what the spell says.
Right. Okay.
So,
Do they go on your turn?
yes.
Or do they get an initiative?
They go on my turn because I command them to act on my turn. So, say they go on.
So
Unless you want to rule that we have to do an initiative for each fucking bed.
It would probably be on your turn, but it would probably be this turn you're animating them, so they're probably all going to chime in next turn, right?
Yeah.
You can use a bonus action to mentally command them to do things, and then they would do those things. And then
Well, actually, wait, hold on. First command is safely dump the kids out so that they don't hurt them.
Yeah.
so, yeah, they sort of you've used your action and your bonus action to command them all to do the specific thing, but they're not going to necessarily do that until your next turn. But they are animated and alive and moving.
And rearing everything. Drop off the kids. Good to know. All right. So that's Luvina's turn.
So, what is your first
What is
your first command for them?
Safely slide any occupants they have onto the floor so that they're not hurt.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Alrighty.
Saving the kids first. That is Luvina's priority right now. Children.
Actually, I said the beds sort of rise up and are getting the motions to move and rattle and whatnot. So, as they do so, all the beds but this one, actually no, all the beds but this one and this one, two of them. It appears that at least two of those beds that you animated were actually empty. But the other three got kids in them, and immediately as the beds start to move and sort of meander awkwardly to get ready to do whatever it is you task them to do, all three of these kids sit up and in complete and total unison, Zarius! All at the same time.
Oh.
Darius?
Zarius.
Creepy. Alrighty, so she's gonna hold her. Okay, question. If I make a multi-attack, can I aim at one enemy and then attack another that are next to me, or does both have to go to?
Oh yeah, you can split it if you want to.
Okay. So
That.
So she sits there. She holds her sword up, and she whispers in Celestial to it.
Oh yay.
And and the sword emits just a flash of blue light, and all of a sudden it's just soaked in blue flames. So I'm like, let's play. So she's gonna make. Does anyone else speak Celestial?
No.
I don't.
Okay, then you don't know what she said. So,
Nope.
anyway.
No one here.
So yeah, she's going to make an attack with her flame sword on the first one that's in front of her.
18 will definitely hit. 13 damage.
Yeah, and now it's going to take an extra 2d6.
Because the flames.
Uh-huh. That's 4 additional damage.
Um,
And
So-
it's considerably brighter around
Yes.
silver.
it is most definitely considerably brighter. However, I sort of regret to inform you, Silver, that at least to these guys, when you emit fire into your blade and smack into this infernal devilish creature,
Oh, I know.
yeah, it just smiles as the flames lick across its arm.
Still, it took 13 damage.
It did. The one that
So-
was right in front of you?
Yeah, and now she's going to turn slightly and go, wham, to the next one.
20 will hit.
12.
Ready? Yeah. Okay.
I forgot
12
to say.
plus a fire tickle.
Which
Wait, are
she's...
they immune?
Yeah, they are.
Aw. 11 damage. Oh well.
Alright, but it is considerably brighter. Hooray.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Alright.
she's just in there like, look at me and my fancy sword.
Uh-huh. So, this barbed, devilish creature is going to make a multi-attack at you again. Because it's the
Oh.
thing to do.
Right.
New. Holy crap, new.
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
That's a critical failure.
Again.
That one
Exploding
hit.
critical failure.
Alright. So, it will smack you with its tail. Whoosh.
It's making. Let me see if I'm able to do it at this point. When they make an attack roll, I can use a reaction to use cutting words.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, how do I do that?
Roll a d8.
Well. Now what do you say?
Yeah, that too. Figure out what you say and roll a d8.
Ooh.
Shh. Fast fingers, faster mouth. Hey.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just make like a really annoying
So what does this spell do for cutting
Alright.
words? What
Cutting
does
word.
it affect? Does it affect damage or?
I just did Bardic Inspiration in reverse to his attack roll. He gets a -6.
So he missed you.
Oh, so he doesn't hit. Yay.
Hmm.
She like tries to hold up her shield and like, hey, what?
Mm-hmm. Now it is your turn, Wesley. By the way, fun thing about reactions. That I only recently learned myself. The start of the second round just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You just use your reaction for cutting word, but you get your reaction back because your turn just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, Wesley, make your turn. What you doing?
All right. So I think that I'm going to keep my distance, and I think I'm going to do a repeat of Vicious Mockery
Alrighty.
to the one that's been being beat up the most.
Okay, so that's
That's
the one,
in front of her, right?
That's the one in front of her, yeah. Nope. Roll your damage. Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So,
Oh, also disadvantage. Nice.
on their next attack roll, they get disadvantage. On their next attack roll, so it'd be the first one of their next attack roll since they have multi-attack. But not the one that. This is a different one that is smacking you now.
Mhm.
Nope.
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 No.
Nope.
All right. Lavinia.
Come on, guys.
All right. So what's happening with my beds? Have they safely dropped the
Kids.
The beds that have kids have sort of tilted up on two legs on the side and deposited the kid on the floor.
All right.
Who?
And I will bonus action command them to close in on the devil that is not as hurt and just wail on it.
Okay. So, which I will give, since these two of the beds didn't actually have kids in them, I will give them their first attack to do so. What's their land speed on these things?
Just assume 30.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't say, so just say 30.
This bed is going to make its way around into this devil down here. Woo, boop. This bed's going to do this same thing. This way.
Pleases me greatly.
Yeah, they're moving in, smack next to Ribbon because catty corner. Or yeah, Silver. Sorry. This one move and actually get a swing, unlike his buddy. That so two of them will get a chance to swing. All right. And they have a +5 to their attack roll with 2d6 plus 1 on the damage. No. No. Okay.
Alright. And while they're doing that, Luvina is plunk myself down here, aim at the one that just got that my bed's attempted to wail on. And I am going to chuck another magic missile at him. First level spell slot this time, so that is essentially 3d4 plus 3 is what this amounts to. So can I just do that
Yeah.
some time?
Yeah, just roll them all together.
So 3d4 plus 3, and it's 10 damage total.
Alrighty?
Pew pew pew.
Silver.
So,
She's probably confused because she's surrounded by beds.
Yeah,
it's just
you're now
like-
surrounded by beds. Slightly. You got a
okay,
space
now
off to
for
you got a space off to your right that you can move, but yeah, you're surrounded by beds.
Okay. She's going to swing at the first one and use Smite.
Okay.
Well, let me see what I have to expend for my Smite. Well, I have to hit first. 28.
Oh yeah, 28 will hit.
So, 6 damage. And then with
Okay.
Smite, I'm going to expend a second level slot to make it a 3d8, but it turns into a 4d8 since it's a fiend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
48 extra damage. Radiant, I'm guessing. Holy
24.
crap.
Yes,
Damn.
Radiant, and be like, I'm done with you. Bam!
Holy crap.
It's like, oh, fire's not working. Let's go with something harder.
Okay. 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 Casually almost
And
half its
then-
health currently. Anyway.
Seriously? Ugh. Well, she's gonna make a normal attack against the other one next to her.
Mm-hmm.
25
That'll
to
hit.
hit. 9.
All the 9s. You're not the mighty 9.
Nope.
We are charisma, yes. Alright, so. This one is going to make a swing at you.
Oh shit, we've been forgetting to do wild magic surges. Just a reminder.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
How many
no.
How many spells did you cast?
So
3?
far I have, yeah, 3.
Go ahead and do 3 rolls from.
We could just
3.
say it had like a delayed reaction.
Do 3d20 rolls. It's only you only have to roll like 1-1, right? think that's how that works.
Let's see here. Starting when you choose this origin at first level, your spellcasting immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell first level or higher, the DM can have you roll a d20. If you roll a 1, roll on the magic wild. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I need to roll a 1.
So this.
No ones. An 8, and a 19.
Yep, you're good. So that first 2 there was his initial attack with the disadvantage. He definitely missed you. He still missed you. He still missed you. Alright.
Okay, next.
Thank goodness for stupidly high armor class, right? They have to roll at least a 17 to hit you. So,
Yeah.
Alright. So, Leslie, again.
I mean, why fix something if it's not broke? I do
Yep.
this sort of thing.
Yep. On the same one from before.
Yeah.
Still does not save. Do you say the same thing or a different one this time?
Don't make me drop you into a bag of hope.
Bag of holding.
Yeah.
alright.
Alright. So the other one is going to it's going to make its first initial attacks on with its claws on Riven and then try to tail attack the bed behind it. That hits Riven.
So,
Silver.
Or Silver, sorry.
Okay.
That is with a claw. 8 damage to silver. What's the AC on the beds? 13?
AC
Yeah.
on the beds. Yeah, armor class 13. 40 hit points.
Alright. So this one has been hit. And it is 7. Alrighty. Yay! Luvinia, what are you doing?
Okay, so
The beds get to attack. Yay.
all 5 of them.
Are they attacking the one
Yes,
that's...
they are. They are focusing their fire.
Alright. So they're focusing their fire on this one?
Yes, the one they have surrounded.
Alright. So, plus 5 to hit with 2d6. No. 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 Oh,
16
wait,
doesn't
yes.
hit.
That one is a
Okay.
yes. So that's... No. Yes. So 2.
2 of them hit.
And it is a 2d6 plus 1. So I'm going to roll 4d6 plus 2.
All right.
15. Random bed. Math. Okay. So what are you doing with your actual turn, Lavinia?
All right. Luvina, watching her beds wailing on this fiend, is gonna wipe a tear from her eye.
Mommy's so proud.
Then she's going to sidestep 1 space.
Oh, by the way, it's fairly obvious at this point that throughout all of this, because it's several seconds of combat and stuff has happened, the kids that were placed onto the ground are just standing firmly still and are, well, they're staring at anyone that they don't really know and that happens to be close. So effectively, Lavinia in the middle and Silver. Just staring at them sort of catatonic-ish.
All right. Well, Luvina, like I said, kind of nudged herself up a spot, kind of cracks her knuckles, and then casts Witch Bolt at the one that's directly in front of Silver. Don't think that hits though.
Nope.
So it kind of goes wide, and she just kind of stares at wherever it hits, appalled for and goes,
You fucking
cracks her knuckles, and we'll try again next turn.
Alright. So, Silver. Same dealie as before? Smacky smacky? And possibly smite?
Oh, yes. Oh. No smite.
No smite. Okay.
Let's see.
I just ran it in my head. If all of the beds manage to land a hit, it'll be 12d6 plus 5. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, it's also worth noting that at this particular point, Wesley, now, because of your statement about, intrigued by the beds, you're more so intrigued by them because since you don't have dark vision, you don't see anything until she lights up.
Yeah, that's what it is. She's actually gonna do 2 attacks on the one in front of her.
2 attacks on the one in front of you? Alright. He's looking pretty beat up, by the way.
28.
28 will hit.
8.
8. Alright.
Oh! Oh no.
That
That's
would
a
not
crit
hit.
fail. Okay.
Yeah, you go to swing and it sort of sparks against the ground, and luckily Flame Tongue doesn't, cause fire to combustibles, otherwise you might have torched a bed.
Oh, lovely.
Luckily the child is not in the bed, or that would have been really bad.
Yeah,
Dude.
good point.
And Luvina would be contractually obligated to kill you if the child died.
Alright. So, you did, that's both your attacks on the same one, so you're done?
I'm done.
All right.
Long combat.
It technically will be because, you know, reasons, but we'll see.
Because DM.
Because I'm not very fast. Yes. Miss.
No, it's okay.
Miss. Miss. I sent you a thing, by the way, Kenneth, earlier.
I got it.
Okay. So he missed you entirely. And it is now to Wesley.
Wesley?
So I'm going to start cawing absolutely nuts ballistically, and I'm going to start pointing to the north side of the room, and I'm going to do minor illusion. Let's see. I'm going to do minor illusion in this spot right here, roughly somewhere in this area. Actually, from where their vantage point is, my teammates, I'm going to do my minor illusion in this spot right here, and I'm going to recreate the little ghosty little girl thing as before. And she's going to be obviously completely silent because she's just an image, but she's going to be sobbing and crying and pointing north. So she's pointing up this way, and she's sighing and crying silently. And I'm absolutely cawing and going ballistic and pointing at her.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This devil, same as the second verse, same as the first. Smacky smacky at silver. Miss. Miss.
Miss.
This time smacking at a bed behind it. That'll hit it.
Poor bed. They were
Indeed.
beautifully made.
Bed this point. 11 damage to the bed. The same one that he hit before. Okay. Lavinia, you go.
My beds are beating up the fucker.
Beds will go smacky smacky.
Yes, destroy them, my minions.
Indeed. Oh, that'll hit.
That'll lift me.
That one will not. Nope. 3. No, definitely not.
Oh.
2. So, 2.
6 plus 2 again.
46 plus 6, yeah. 18. Oh, hey, easy math. Cool. Alright, now it is your turn proper.
Alright. Luvina's gonna look towards Wesley, see him panicking, look towards the ghost girl, see her crying and sobbing towards the thing, and looking. What does she see?
And she's pointing north. She's pointing up.
I'm looking where she's pointing. Do I see anything?
Yeah, so, let's see. Make for me a perception check.
Do I get an advantage because it's being pointed out to me?
The specific thing is not being technically pointed out to you, or rather you don't know exactly what it is, but since you are looking north,
Should I roll a perception as well?
you could on your turn.
Okay. Oh, dear God, there's more.
Alright, so you sort of look up to the north, and you see, these, like, this, like, dully lit lanterns. It was sort of hard to make out in the dark until something sort of indicated it to you. And they're sort of pulsing with a soft, flame. And you see the beginnings of what could be some form of a, since you did roll a 14, that's pretty decent. You see the beginnings of what could be a, perhaps an altar of some kind. And also, putting the point to make the perception check, you hear what Um, you're too far away. You won't quite catch it. So yeah, you see more distance ahead of you, and these softly lit things, these little candelabra-looking things, and the starts of what possibly could be an altar of some kind.
Alright. Well, I will deal with that in a minute, but for now I'm getting rather tired of Phineas and Ferb over here, so... So I am going to use my movement action to kind of scuttle around here until I'm right here. I'm going to turn so I'm facing this guy, and I am going to cast lightning bolts through him and his friend.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, like
Wait, how wide is the...
I'm pretty sure it's just a straight 1 square wide line. Let me double check here. A stroke of lightning forming a line of 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts out from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. The lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. And yeah, I am going to use that on both of the fiend guys there.
Okay.
You're a monster. What did your bed ever do to you?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Usually.
So,
They need to make a saving throw, beating 16.
nope. Yep.
Alright.
And then no. So it's half damage to the ones that make it and full damage to the ones that don't.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So okay, half damage.
Just like all of a sudden this...
And I also need to roll Magic Surge.
Oh yeah, that.
18, I'm good.
Okay. So Lavinia just comes spiraling around. She takes a quick look up into, following Wesley's motion, and she comes spinning around, launches off a lightning bolt, and yeah, so it's 11 damage on a success. This guy here, come on, there we go. This guy here, he made his save, so he will take 11. And there, and then you do you blast through the one in front of you who didn't make his save, this first one, and he just like lightning creases up his arms and it's just and then fall into what looks almost like a weird blend between melted leather and ash, and then poof, and it just disappeared. He is gone.
I point at where he was, and that's my turn.
Also,
Wait, so which one's gone?
the one in front of you.
Oh, thank God.
Also, give me a little marking here, Brian. This bed is on fire.
Right. Okay.
It's on fire?
Mm-hmm.
That's lovely.
And it took 23
It's
damage, but it has 40 health, so it's fine. Looks
It's
kind
fire.
of looks kind of like honey. Anyway, or butter or something. Okay, so that's Luvinia's turn. Do you say anything to Silver?
Silver's just standing there going like, that was really close. What the hell?
I know what I'm doing. There's another one. Let's kill it.
How is this other one looking?
Very, very hurt.
Very, very hurt.
It's quite possibly on its last leg.
Same shit over. 27.
Oh yeah.
9. Next.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
So,
So 13.
You pretty much just carved this devil in half. He's gone.
And then I will immediately command the bed that's on fire to flip over and do its level best to smother the flames and put itself out.
Stop,
So-
dropping, thump, 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 thump.
So the bed basically drops and rolls.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's like a puppy that just learned how to do rollover. It's like
What is the floating bed's dexterity again? How graceful is this act?
not.
Ka-flump, ka-flump, ka-flump,
It's,
ka-flump.
its dexterity is tough. I'm not trying to make it graceful. I'm just trying to make it stop being on fire.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty helpful considering you have stone floor.
Yeah.
Alright. So, this combat is officially over.
This combat.
All right.
So, you guys, the combat's over.
Does the bed put itself out?
Yes, the bed succeeded in putting itself out.
Nice.
And how long's the concentration on that spell? Like a minute?
Duration, concentration, yeah, up to 1 minute.
Okay.
Silver's going to cast a spell and cast Cure Wounds on herself.
Okay.
Let's see. A short rest is 1 hour. Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably don't have that.
Not
So
really.
I'm gonna just go ahead and command the beds just before the spell wears off to go back to where they were and just settle down nice and neat.
Except for the burnt one.
Do they make themselves as well?
I commanded the beds, not the blankets, so DM discretion.
You could animate blankets. They're probably small.
I could, and at the same time, I kind of don't want to use the spell slot. I only have one more of that level left.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
Silver's going to start making her way up this way.
Yeah.
alright.
I was going to ask how fast do you run in fifth?
30 feet.
30 feet per.
Unless you,
I mean,
if you're
that's your normal
if you're
move.
quote unquote running, you can double your speed.
Yeah, it's a dash, and it takes a full round to do that.
All right. Well, yeah, I would definitely be dashing in this direction.
Well, we're not in combat, so you can just meander your way up.
Alright, so
Right,
as you guys
yeah.
are making your way up this way, those of you who can see,
Uh-huh.
because dark vision,
Yay.
you see big, large statues,
Jesus.
the sort
I
of
hope
ruined,
we do not
slightly
fight
ruined
them.
statues that Luvina has seen before from above, and resting in and amongst this statues is a altar, or next to the altar, I should say. You see a small child. Boop. Who is currently being held, like by the scruff of the neck, by a rather terrifying-looking, bony-skinned tiefling. Move the child.
Wait.
Bony skinned.
Tiefling?
Basically, it's a tiefling that has like bone protrusions, long spiked tail, a sort of skeletal appearance to his skin tone, and he's in this dark robe. And as he's looking up as you're looking up and finding him, he sort of waves his hand through the air, like through the empty air, and just produces magically a dagger that he has, and he places it to the kid that's in his that he's holding by the scruff's neck.
You know, this reminds me of a joke. You know, I had a warlock throw a teacup at me. I guess I should have seen it coming from a tiefling. Ah.
What?
A warlock threw a teacup at me. I guess I should have seen it coming from a tiefling.
Tiefling because he threw.
Tiefling.
Yeah.
A
I
warlock
get
threw a teacup.
it. It's a It's a soft pun. It's fine. Um. So yeah, you have this bony uh tiefling, and produces the dagger from the air, holds it to the kid's neck, and I would be very careful with your next course of action. Also, make for me a another perception check.
Yeah, I was going to say, does this kid look like the catatonic ones from before, or does he actually look, quote unquote, normal? Can I tell?
He seems to be a little bit more aware. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All three of you sort of catch it. Uh, this kid is. I'm not making it medicine because you're not assessing wounds because you're not there. This kid has a gash along his like the because he's in these tattered clothes. You can see a lot of the skin of his neck, and he has a gash along his neck that is currently bleeding, and you see the start of a like creepy magic circle of blood around this altar.
All right. I have something I would like to do.
Hmm?
I would like to dimension door behind the kid and grab him, and then turn around and dimension door back.
Sure.
Uh,
I mean the kid is
reaction and attack it up.
Behind him. He wouldn't necessarily know that I'm behind him,
He would see you leave.
and not know where I went. Hopefully,
I mean he's
he
gonna
has
take
6
Yeah, but
seconds
you're
to discover
gonna
I'm there.
grapple a kid out of his hand.
you also
Let's see.
I'm gonna let you run with it, but he will get a potential attack off on you as you try to get away.
Right.
Um,
It says you can bring a willing creature of my size or smaller. I'm assuming if he's being grappled by this evil looking thing that he probably would rather not be there.
yeah.
So yeah, that would be what I would want to do. I would want to wrong mode. I would want to dimension door like right here. Since he's looking downwards at us, I would like to dimension door here that's still within reach of the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would want to grab the kid and poof back down in this vicinity again.
Okay. It does take an action to cast Dimension Door, so
Yes.
he is going both times. So he is going to get a chance to try to make an attack off on you, which, by the way, he does with his bony, spiny tail.
Right. You did mention that.
So
Is he aware that I'm immediately behind him when I go up that
no,
way?
no, but he will be as soon as you
Actually-
grab the kid.
True.
And other people can be choosing to charge or do something.
Luvina pretty much fell still the moment she saw the blade against the kid's throat. She like went completely still.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid's fate is in your hands, Wesley.
Yep.
He missed. He's not particularly proficient with his tail strikes. So Dimension Door once, get there, grab the kid, Dimension Door back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you now have kid. We are now rolling initiative. Again.
Okay.
Unless other characters want, unless Silver and Lavinia want to charge to him before initiative is technically rolled. I mean, you can. I'll let you.
Well, again, Luvina was kind of frozen in place for a moment, but when she sees the kid no longer grappled, she's
Yeah, the
gonna
kid
be ready
is
to
now
throw
over
down.
here with Wesley.
Also, the minor illusion crying, pointing girl can be dispersed.
Silver moves 3 feet until she's up there. So
All right.
All right. Roll for initiatives, everybody.
I got an 11.
4. Oh dear God. Shit. Okay.
All right. So it is yeah. Combat has begun. Wesley, you are first.
Well, first and foremost, I have a injured child. Can I sort of see anything extra about the nature of the injury? Is it something that I could try and bandage or protect or
That is
assist?
a medicine check.
Oh dear, I am not good with medicine.
Not bad.
Yay, bards.
He says with a +6.
I don't get proficiency bonus or anything to that, I don't think.
You get half of it because Jack of all trades.
Right.
And it is... Yeah, you get half that because Jack of all trades, and you have your just for sake of saying it, Wesley also in his possession has a Lucky Stone.
Lucky Stone.
Which
Plus
Lucky,
one to almost
Lucky Stone
everything.
gives him a +1 to literally almost everything, except for attacks and death saves.
Okay.
Alright, so you have Crying Child, you spend your action for a medicine check. 22. He is cut up. You don't necessarily have all the specifics, but for sake of giving the player imagery, he almost looks close to like ritual cut. The cuts to his neck are in very specific places and at specific angles.
Am I able to, like...
You can use
bandage
medicine to sort of
or help?
patch him up to where it's not bleeding. Yeah.
Okay. Then I feel like I had a very useful turn.
Alrighty. It is to him.
Yeah,
Right.
so, like,
And he's not going to be mad at me at all. I just healed the kid, you know, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
or this person's, like, charging up to him.
Yeah. So. Boop. Oh yeah. Okay.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
So.
Closer.
3 and
What are you casting?
he points his finger out towards you, Silver, and a burst of magic and a dark green beam shrieks across the stone towards you. Then ranged spell attack, which misses you. Darn
Bounce
you
off
and your
shield.
darn you and your crazy AC.
That's fine. I have more.
Cliche ricochet sound.
Yeah, kinda. And he launches out. You block it with your shield and don't even appear to be phased. And yeah, he will continue spreading what little bit he spends his bonus action, and he continues trying to spread what little bit of blood he has on the ground already in a fuller circle. Lavinia.
Alright, so Luvina is going to run up. Let's see here, where was that again? So she's going to run over here. Boop. And she's going to turn towards the tiefling guy, lift up a hand with this kind of like all of the cheer in her face just suddenly fades away and she looks pissed, furious. Lifts up her hand, crackling with electricity, and just snarls, "Scream!" And she is going to cast Lightning Bolt at 5th level,
Jesus.
expending her last 5th level spell slot, and that adds an additional. Let's see, that adds an additional 2d6 onto the.
So it's a 10d6.
No.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, 10d6. All right.
2 plus 8 is 10.
He has to make that 16 dexterity saving throw.
Really?
There's a
Yeah.
comma of natural 6s in there. It's nice.
No.
Nice. So he just took 38 points of damage.
To the face.
Do we temporarily see his skeleton as the electricity hits him?
All right. So, Al, half his health almost, or practically.
Seriously?
Yeah. He's
You're his
kind
best.
of a wizard character. So. Ow,
There
that
has to be a
hurt.
bigger baddie.
Don't worry about that.
If he finishes that circle, then yeah.
Well,
Uh-huh.
thanks to you, now he's bleeding immensely. Oh wait, no, that probably cauterized as it went.
Oh, good. It's my turn.
It is your turn.
Let's have some fun. So she moves her full 30.
Hmm.
And stuff, and then she's going to, as a bonus action, she's going to activate just looking at him. She's going to let out this horrible, banshee-like scream at him. Her eyes turn black, and single black tears go down her face as these two ghastly wings rip out from the back of her back. He has to
Hello,
make a
Yasha.
charisma. Yes. He's gonna have to. And when she's like all done with screaming and stuff, when she lets out this big sigh of breath, there's frost coming from her breath. So yeah, he needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Charisma saving throw, you say? What is DC?
17.
Yes.
Shit.
You look terrifying.
Yes, I look terrifying.
Was that an action to do that?
Oh yeah, that was an action.
Oh, she has Hunter's Mark.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Hunter's Mark is active.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, he has no
That's a
save or anything.
concentration.
He's just Hunter's Mark.
Yes.
Alright. Wesley.
Wesley?
I've got a question.
Mhm.
If I was to reach into my bag and grab a specific item I knew I was looking for, what kind of action would it be for me to grab an item out of a bag?
Bonus.
Okay. So,
It's akin to using an item that's on your person and using a potion and that's like a bonus action. So
okay. So the recently healed kid.
well, patched up, not
Um,
really healed, but
Well, the recently no longer bleeding kid.
Yeah.
Are these beds that are around us, are they unoccupied?
you have high enough passive perception. You see that a lot of these beds are occupied, and quite possibly from the same vein of kids that are in these lower beds that came alive that are currently catatonic.
What is? Do I know what the closest bed to me is that is not occupied?
That would be this one right here.
Okay.
One of these two.
Okay. So I gotta check something for future shenanigans. You said one of these. I don't like that, but that's fine. It'll have to do. Okay. What I'd like to do is I'd like to quickly reach into my bag of random stuff, and I would like to extract one wooden cup with cloth ball and string, and hand it to the kid. Pat him on the head and point to this bed,
Okay.
in hopes that he will go and like hide in the bed or under the bed or something. Not run out the room, but I'm about to leave and I don't want to stand here in the middle of the floor. So I hand him a toy and I point to this bed and hope that he gets the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could still make an action then?
Yep.
Awesome. I would like to activate Armor of Agathis.
Yep.
If I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I would like to activate that as a 5th level.
Okay.
So I click it.
Click on Armor of Agathis and 5th. There we go. Alrighty.
And then I will deduct spell slot accordingly.
Yep.
So that activates, and now I have
A Shroud of Cold.
five temporary hit points per level, right?
Yep.
So I now have 25 temporary cold hit points.
Yep.
And do I have any movement on this turn, or is that pretty much my turn?
Yep.
So I
that's
could
your-
then still move
You can
forward.
You
still
could then move.
to 30
30.
or whatever your speed is.
So neck and neck with right there. So does that seem valid?
Yep.
Okay. And that will do my turn.
Alright. So he is going to he will spend his bonus action again to sort of continue to spread out the blood that he's got, making into a circle. It's a little over a half circle at this point, probably 2/3 of the way done. And then he will look over at Luvinia,
Hi.
and he looks past Silver for a second and looks at Luvinia, and then he goes, "Thanks for the idea." Reaches into his pocket, flips an iron rod in his hand, lightning bolt, just like you did, straight forward line, hitting Silver and Birdie,
Okay.
because you are in a line.
That's Dex.
But Brave Boy is not in a line. Yeah.
But what?
Yes.
The brave boy.
Oh,
is-
brave, brave boy. Yes, brave boy is not going to get hurt. So he is doing it at standard level because he's not doing higher level stuff. Yeah, 8d6. Roll a dex save, you two.
Crap. Okay.
It's Wesley with 12.
This ain't gonna look pretty, guys. 8.
You have a dex save of +5.
Yeah.
Okay, so does lightning bolt get your spell ability modifier as bonus to damage or
No.
I don't think so. No, it's not an attack roll.
That is depressing.
You both did in fact fail. So 25 lightning damage. Zap.
Can I elect that goes to my person instead of my temporary HP?
No, it has to go.
No, you cannot.
Counter target 5th level spell slot. Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Counter spell?
Please.
I just gave myself 25 temporary hit points with an added bonus as long as I have them, and he just did exactly 25 to my exactly 25. I am
hey,
now
Do
exactly
counter.
sad.
hey, Bozo Bird. Do you have counterspell? Did you pick up?
I have counter something.
I-
Hold on a second. It's a Barty thing. I gain the ability
counter
to
charm.
disrupt
Yeah.
mind influencing.
I do have counter spell, albeit I don't have any 5th level spell slots yet. Okay,
But-
I will. Okay, I'm going to attempt a standard 3rd level counter spell to stop the lightning bolt because it's let's see here. You attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of casting a spell. If the creature
Is casting a spell of 3rd or lower, the spell fails. And has no effect.
If it's 4th or higher, I have to make an ability check using
Yep.
the spellcasting ability with DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Okay.
And you said
so-
he was casting at a base level?
He was casting it at a base level 3, so you stop it.
Oh, thank God.
Nice. Okay.
Happiness restored.
Yay.
Like he goes to send a lightning bolt, and I just like snap my fingers and just fizzes up in his hands.
No.
Alright,
She is
So,
not having it.
that's his turn. Lavinia, go.
Definitely close enough. Nice. So I will move right here. And as Luvina's like running forward, like her hands are going to be like down at her sides, and the air around her is just going to start darkening, like noticeably. And when
Mhm.
she slides to a stop, she's going to outstretch both of her hands, and she is going to cast Blight on him.
Okay.
So let's see here. So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw, 16, of course. And if he fails, he takes 88 necrotic damage. But if he's an undead, this won't actually work. But I don't think he's an undead.
Right, he's not.
Okay. So,
So that is...
Oh,
Holy crap.
if he fails, he takes 43 damage.
On a half, he takes... And it's a con save?
yeah.
16 or more.
Alright.
Ah,
Dang.
damn it.
Alright, so 43, 42, 20... No,
21 damage, dividing it in half for the...
Yeah, 21.
21, yeah.
Is that enough to kill him?
Close.
Very, very close.
Alright.
That hurt. Something fierce.
So yeah, like as she's doing that, as like the necromantic energies are washing over him, eating at him, like Luvina's like seething, just like,
I said scream.
Mm-hmm.
and that's her turn.
Okay.
Silver,
Such
do the
drama.
thing.
Such
Trust
drama.
me.
Much wow.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Alright, go, Silver.
So, she steps up to him. I think the nice lady said scream, and she's going to make an attack, but she's going to add smite on the end of it at 4th level.
Ooh.
Now, my question is this guy a fiend?
He has fiendish heritage, but he doesn't technically count as a fiend.
So either way, that's a 5d8 on top of my attack, plus my Hunter's Mark, which is a 1d6, and my Shroud, which is... I can add up 10 necrotic points of extra damage.
Which you do have to hit.
Yes, if I hit.
So, you go to slam down with his sword,
Oh no.
and he launches his hand up, and a burst of magic energy causes your blade to slide away. Reaction, shield, no. You do not hit
What
him.
a cunt.
Well, luckily I didn't hit, so my smite didn't go away.
Right.
So I'm going to attempt again.
Mm-hmm.
25.
Yeah, that'll hit him.
So he takes 11 points, 9 fire, 10 necrotic damage, 4 extra points. Now, my fun. What is it? 5d6 for my smite? Yeah, 5d8. 21.
Okay.
So that's 35? No. 36 damage. Some
Can
of
you
it is
just-
radiant.
So, not to pull a critical roll, how precisely do you want to, kill this guy?
She said scream, so I'm just gonna stick it into him and just twist it. And just explode him from radiant damage, and like he starts... I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So you
Don't make
slam
me
the
scream.
you slam the blade into him, sort of twist it, and he does scream rather loudly.
Luvina gets this really pleased and frankly unsettling grin on her face at the sound.
And as he falls, he falls to the right towards the altar,
Shit.
and he coughs. You better run. And he uses his own blood to finish the rest of the circle.
Ah, Jesus.
And
So he just lays there and bleeds out, and
yeah.
shit. I was trying to make him explode with radiant damage. Oh well.
Hmm?
Hold on. Yeah, do that. Do whatever you need to do.
So he bleeds out, falling towards the altar. The runes that he has surrounding this area sort of flash and light up. And yeah. We get a new person added to the fray.
Oh boy.
And then standing in the middle of the altar, you see a sort of
Can you?
you see this sort of barbed, like spiny looking rope, and a hand, and then a wing, and this is what's known as an Aaron yes.
Aaron, no. Which one of it?
All
That's
right.
how that creature got its name. Like the guy was designed as like, I should probably do that, and his name was Aaron, and one of his friends like Aaron, no. He's like Aaron, yes, and then he named it that just to spite his friends.
So this somewhat feminine looking creature in this like heavy plate armor comes out, stretches her wings, and then smiles, particularly down to the bone tiefling who is passed out and falls unconscious. You did well. Seems you left some loose ends. He just smiles to you. Yay. Need to move her so that I can do add to turn, and yeah.
Can you move this dead guy?
Yes, I will move the dead guy. Bye, dead guy.
Okay.
And now she is going to get her initiative roll.
0.
Still
Please
crappy.
be lower. Please be 1. Please be 1. Please be 1. Crap.
Okay.
Okay.
He was summoned technically at the end of Silver's turn, which puts the start of the round of combat again. And yeah. She's basically sitting in the same spot in the turn order that he was, just with a different roll.
This shall be great.
Alright,
It's been
Wesley.
2 rounds.
Let's see. So if I was to do a full move,
Oh,
Up
wait,
to-
question. How long does a minute last again? Is it 60 rounds?
10 rounds.
No. 10 rounds. Okay, thank you.
Wesley, if you was to make a full move, you would be doing your action to dash, which would mean you wouldn't get an attack. You'd have a bonus action though when you got there.
but if a spell was one action and only targets myself, would I be able to do that while dashing, or dashing is the full turn?
Dashing is the whole.
Dashing is full.
Well, I guess because I need to be into the fray a little bit, unless I want to mock this chick to death for her name. I guess I will run up to approximately, let's see, line, making sure it's not a line. Well, that looks exactly like a line. I guess I will go to that. It is like 55 feet, so a full round running thing.
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Nice.
Run good.
Okay. So, it is now to the air, and yes.
No.
Right,
No, Aaron, stop it. This is bad.
right. So,
Does she look fiery and infernal like the other things?
yeah, very much so.
She's
Alright.
definitely a demon.
So, she will sort of stride off of the little altar area, take a step forward, which is technically over here, and she will see this tiny little bird person. And you're sort of flashing with your blue and your armor of Agathis that you got going on still. And she will sort of look at you, hold her sword up, because she does have a she sort of pulls a long sword off of her back, hiding between her wings. You really should have run, and then with 3 multi-attack sword strikes.
Against Birdie?
Yes, Birdie.
Reminder of my cloak. I'm not sure that it's functionally enabled, but it's on myself.
Yes, it is enabled and it is there.
Okay.
So she will get disadvantage on all of her strikes, right? Before she hits.
It projects an illusion that makes me appear to be standing in a place beside where I'm actually located, causing anyone to have disadvantage on all attack rolls against me. If she hits me, it restrains that effect until my next turn. So, for all intents and purposes, I look like I'm here.
Okay, so disadvantage on her attacks. Okay. 1 disadvantage. So 19.
19 hits.
Yep. And is pick 11.
11 damage.
Yep.
All right, and also she takes 25 cold for striking.
Yep. Which when it sparks and comes off towards her, you notice that it doesn't. It still covers her, but she doesn't shiver as you might expect her have. She has resistance to cold damage.
Darn. Okay.
But that just means that she takes half. So the 25 she takes is 12. So that
so she does take damage, she just takes half.
Right. Yep.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel better than she takes 0. So, okay.
She's not immune to cold, she's just resistant to cold.
Now is her first hit.
That was her first attack.
She successfully hit, so I would imagine she's not at advantage for the other 2.
Right. 17?
Sadly. 17 is a miss.
Okay. And a 14 is a miss. You're just a little too dodgy, Mr. Bird Person.
Got close on that last one, because she only has to meet it to hit, so I'm an AC 8.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Luvinia.
Yay luck.
Luvinia, what you doing?
Luvina is going to expend 7 sorcery points to get back a 5th level spell slot, and she is going to immediately use that spell slot after this is going to save right here, so that she can cast Lightning Bolt at 5th level again.
10d6 lightning dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
DC is
16. That's what she has to
all
do.
right.
No. All right.
Fail. All right.
So that's 41 damage right to the air, and yes.
Well, that makes math easy. Okay.
All right.
That hurts. Silver, go.
From 541 to 500.
You're actually pretty close there,
I was guessing, I promise.
but not actually 500. It was a
Yeah.
it was a 3-digit number though that went down to almost not 3 digits. Anyway,
Okay, so I sacrifice a 2nd level spell slot, so I now have 6 sorcery points, and I shall wait until next turn.
okay, that's your bonus action.
Uh-huh. Oh, my concentration, my hunter's mark would move onto.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just gonna make 2 attacks. Normal. 21.
Flame tongue longsword 21 to hit her. Yay for being in full plate. She blocks your sword with hers. Harry.
Harry?
Yep. And +4 to her AC is more
But
than
she already
21.
used her reaction, so she can't do it again.
Oh, also I forgot to roll Wild Magic Surge. Gonna do that now. 16. I'm good. Carry on.
Okay. 22.
You don't. But yeah, you hit her.
Okay.
6 damage.
6 and 2 fire.
Mm-hmm.
Is she a fiend?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Does the fire damage melt some of the frost off of her that I put on her that didn't?
Yes, but it doesn't appear to hurt her very much.
Oh.
Oh, I should note that she also takes 10 additional necrotic damage.
Alrighty, Wesley.
Okay. So, might as well make use of it while I can. I want to do something that's probably incredibly lame. I'm thinking, like, what's the Power Rangers where they do all this, like, hand and kung fu in the air sort of thing, and then end up, like, holding their hand, and the ring glows, and I activate my spell storing ring.
Okay.
And it has boosted to 5th level Vampiric Touch on it.
Yep.
So I clicky, and it is this and this. So that activates.
And so it is 5d6.
Mm-hmm.
5d6 necrotic. Alright.
And lasts 1 minute. So 10 rounds.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a cool
melee
icon I can use.
Melee spell attack. So you roll. Wesley's doing Vampiric Touch.
Birdie's going vampire.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
You roll d20 plus 9 for your attack.
Do I not have a friendly clickable link for such a thing?
You do have a clickable link for your Vampiric Touch. That's right.
Damn it.
On your.
So just, but I need to first edit the dice, and it's a spell, so it doesn't get plus damage. It's just 5d6, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. A 12 unfortunately does not hit her, but you have Vampiric Touch going.
Yay. Okay. So now
Alright.
I'm covered in frost and have like a purple energy like pulsing around my arms.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, she is going to take a 5-foot step to the side. No attacks of opportunity for people. Because she's not moving that far. And out of threat range. She looks over Silver, sort of looks her over. You are much more interesting than the little bird. And
Over who?
the bird,
No, who is she looking at?
you.
Oh, hi.
Uh-huh.
Can I cast
Mike-
Charm?
Smacky smack 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 with weapon.
Okay. Attack each.
10 does not hit you. But a 20 does.
Shield.
Alright.
Third action.
Using my third level.
Let it go.
Alright.
So now you gotta be a 25. Nope.
What
All
was
right.
the other one? So that was 2 20s, one of which is not shielded.
Well, they're all shielded. The AC stays for the remainder of your turn.
Until the beginning of my turn, so.
Yep.
How tall is the target? The person.
And yes, is a medium creature, just like y'all.
So she's like 5 to 6 foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's about as tall as Silver.
Okay.
And
So I'm just. Go ahead.
she missed with both of her attacks because shield stays on a reaction. So
Oh.
Until the start of my
Okay.
turn.
Awesome.
So,
okay, she is not a happy devil lady at the moment. Luvina.
All right, what do we got left?
kitty.
All right, I'm going to have Luvina like just start slowly walking towards the fight, hands down to her sides again, palms sort of facing forward, fingers curled like claws. Again, air is going to darken and she's going to cast Blight again.
4th level spell.
4th level spell.
Alright, con saving throw and 8d8 narcotic.
She fails that saving throw. It's full damage, otherwise it's 15. I like sorcerers.
Mm-hmm.
15 damage. Yeah, she takes half on it. Yeah.
And Luvina's not saying anything as this is happening. Like, she's done talking. She just has this cold, emotionless, murderous glare on her face.
Silver.
Even as, like, everything around her is darkening as she's
Okay,
using this
good.
objectively evil spell.
Okay, so bonus action, she regains a spell slot. 4th level, she has no more sorcery points. Let's see. She has not taken damage yet, so her Hunter's Bane is still up. Okay.
Hunter's Mark, yeah.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is what I meant.
And I'm guessing she does have wings.
Yeah.
Big red feather.
Great. She's going to like kind of point off to the side.
Hmm?
And
Is this like a
she's-
disco thing? Should I point back?
No, she's just gonna sit there and kind of point off to the side and be like, "Please look over there." Like
What are you-
right over here.
What are you doing?
She's pointing.
Hold on.
Bonus action.
Yeah, just to make sure. She is going to cast this at level 3. It's a snowball swarm. So basically, a flurry of magic snowballs erupt from the point where I choose. Within range, each creature in a 5-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a dexterity saving throw, and a creature takes 3d6 cold damage on a fail or half. On a
You're doing
successful-
15 cold damage if she fails?
Uh, 15 plus that extra 6.
Okay, because it's a
That
higher
would
level
be-
spell slot. So it's 21
so it would
if she
be-
fails.
Yeah,
DC is 17.
but it's
And that's cold damage.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I know.
Okay.
Shit.
So she succeeds
And it takes 10.
and takes 10, which is then halved again because resistance. 5.
Yeah, I know.
There's Jessica's kind of mildly annoyed by the snowballs pattering against her.
Yeah.
I have to wait.
Wesley.
Well, I'm going to continue trying to poke this this winged evil thing. So, let's try this again.
Nope.
Blarg.
She is wearing full plate armor. She is a very armored devil lady.
It's called Vampiric Touch, so it's a touch attack, right?
That's right. That's 3.5. That's not how that works.
I guess that's it then.
At least not that I'm aware of. Or touch it. We don't really have.
It doesn't say anything about it, so I doubt.
So, and then yes, again, she sort of looks.
Oh yeah, my reaction comes back.
Oh yeah, it does. She sort of looks you over, the two of you over, and she's just like,
Hi there.
"You are really becoming an annoyance." And unfortunately, she sort of scuffs with her feet to the unconscious dead tiefling nearby. Fortunately, he doesn't give me much time. So, and she will launch into her flurry of attacks again.
Against
Fortunate-
who?
Huh?
I'm surprised she isn't taking more interest in Luvina, considering, I'm pretty sure I've done more damage to her than anyone else so far.
Yes, but you're a bit too far away, and if she tries to leave, she would get attacked.
I'd poke her.
So, yes. 18 does not hit you. Miss 20 AC. 27 does.
Shit. It's fine.
Okay.
You could totally, if you wanted to, do dual reactions, cutting words and shield. But
It would probably make more sense to do it to damage than to a 27, which at best would be 19.
19 would miss her. Anyway,
And a 20 would hit her.
and a 20 would hit her.
I'd have to get exactly 1 in 8 chance.
Yeah, no, just
It's fine.
I'd rather reduce damage, I
let
think.
me just let's see the damage.
Okay. So, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Boom, 9. Then, then, yes, and then 3d8 poison damage, which doesn't cause you to poison, nor does it give you a con save, but yeah.
It's just typed damage.
Yep. So you take a total of 22. Then she will have her, and then she will have her next attack. Right. Then you're just shield or cutting word.
That one I will bounce in with, I guess.
Yep. Roll a d8. Yep.
Yes.
So Wesley just squawks at her and distracts her for a second attack.
Annoying sound.
It sounding very much like a gruff little girl. Go get him!
Alright. Okay. Alright.
Lavinia, go.
Alright. Nina's gonna plunk herself right here. And she is going to expend her last 3rd level spell slot to cast Lightning Bolt again.
Oh, by the way, at the start of last turn, you guys all heard simultaneously yells and hollering, and all the kids that were in these beds go running out the door.
Oh,
Good on
good.
them. Alright, so also I need to roll for Magic Surge. 10, I am good. So it's another 8d6 damage if she fails her thing.
By the way, did Brave Boy ever go to the bed? And then, did Brave Boy go out with everyone else?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Just making sure. Brave boy.
Yeah, I rolled a 24.
So yeah, they take half damage. So 38. All right, 19 damage.
What I said. So 50. Okay. Because math. Silver.
It's my turn?
Yep.
Like, oh god, this is taking forever. She's gonna sit there and power herself up. And she's gonna cast a 4th level smite.
Hmm?
Oh, and an attack though. Attack.
Oh no.
That's just the first one.
Yeah. That would be a miss. Unless, well, can't reaction Bardic Inspiration, but
No.
can
Okay.
bonus action it on your turn though. Yeah. So that was. You were rolling so well. What happened? Okay. Leslie.
Well, if it ain't working, definitely fix it. I really, really want to pokey necrotic vampiric thing, but it's really, really, really not working.
Well, if Sam suddenly rolls bad, you might suddenly roll good. So
Who knows?
Just for sake of effect. Well, I'm gonna try one more time because I don't want to lose the spell that I stored. I guess I will try and poke her again. No, I will. Every time I try to poke her, I fail. I will attack her with vampiric touch.
18.
18 is her AC, and she's not going to shield you because she's not afraid of you. Or or rather, 18 is her AC. She doesn't have shield. That's the tiefling. Never mind. She can't parry your blow because it's not a melee weapon attack.
A melee touch.
Yay! So I actually get to roll damage.
You do.
We heal 13 damage.
Yay!
Okay.
I kind of wanted to be an off tank, but I'm not interesting enough. Can I persuade her to attack me?
Okay. All right.
I mean, you probably could just.
All right. So she her turn comes up and she's like, she hisses in your general direction,
Mm-hmm.
and she will yeah, smacky celestial, well, fallen celestial lady, and then smacky bird with the third one. 21 on you. Damn.
Ah, fuck.
Leslie could cutting word. He'd only have to roll a 2.
No. Oh.
Or do you have shield still? How many spell slots you have left?
Not many, but I do have spell slots left. Yeah, she's gonna use a shield.
Okay. So that misses. That also misses.
Oh, misses.
And then this is against Leslie.
Caca!
She's too frustrated that I keep using shield.
Yeah, she is
She's
too
like, "Why would you
frustrated.
die?"
That's hilarious.
You know that thing that birds do when they're really excited? They start bobbing their head up and down like crazy.
Alright, Lavinia, go.
All right. Gonna expend my last 4th level spell slot to blight again.
8d8.
88 if she fails that con save.
Oh, I took damage earlier, didn't I? I need to roll a Constitution save real quick.
Yeah,
Just
that's
remember.
fine.
Also, that D20 was for Wild Magic Surge, and I got a 2, so I am good.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, I'm still good.
Okay.
What happens on a 1?
Strange things is what happens on 1.
Oh,
So, you know what? I'm not even going to roll her reflex save. Or her con save, rather. Because even if she succeeds, she would still die with 1 extra damage. Because half of 41 is 20 and her current HP is 19.
oh dear.
So, she gone. Blight takes her out. I would like a description of how this looks.
Okay, so for the rest of you, you again see the air sort of darkening around her, and this time it's like so intense that she just starts like liquefying and bubbling and just melting into a pool on the floor. You glance over, and Luvina's just slowly stalking over, shoulders hunched, breathing heavily from the exertion of casting so many high-level spells, glaring at the puddle. And then when finally it's just nothing but a puddle, the blight spell ends, she comes to stop right in front of it, and then just acid splashes it in a brief little temper tantrum.
Which, as you acid splash it, the residue of the melted fiendish creature just sort of dissolves away before the acid hits it.
Aw.
Okay. Let's go
Damn
check
it.
on the kids.
I could have done something when she attacked me with that poison. I could have used a reaction to absorb some of the poison,
Oh, huh.
and it would have been sent back to her as an extra 1d6.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am so
So-
happy I got the killing blow on that.
Yes.
All right.
Because anything, I was gonna go back through and try to hit her with my high-level smite.
All right.
All right.
So, for sake of brevity, since it's super late and the combats are long, you return to
Outside, and we're like, oh dear God.
you return to outside, and you get probably 30 or so paces away from the temple thing, and you find the young gnome woman, the older gnome woman that you saw before, that you had talked to, and the slew of the 12 or so kids that you have successfully saved, and though he seems a little disgruntled, the half-orc from before that had crashed into the table, way back at the beginning of this whole mess,
Woohoo!
he turns out to be the bodyguard that the gnome was speaking of. And so
Riven goes right up to him and be like, and points in his face. You should be so freaking ashamed of yourselves.
Silver.
I am.
Silver.
Yep, I am. You don't have to tell me twice. And he sort of
Don't
rubs
treat
at
these
his.
children some treats, all the treats they want now.
He sort of rubs at his temple, which you see has got this like visible like welt where someone has smacked him upside the head.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have been from when he crashed earlier. Well, as far
Or
as
it's
giving
from that.
as far as giving kids treats and things, you do have a deliverer of gifts among you, as if in a form of a bird.
Bird hopping up and down.
Um,
And
Nice.
Luvina's gonna go find the kid who she gave her blanket to. Gonna make sure that particular kid, Molly, is okay.
yeah, Molly is perfectly fine. Also, you see that Molly now is carrying 2 teddy bears. The one that Wesley had given her from before, and the one that was in the bush before with the bandana.
I'll sort of lightly pat the bandana one and ask,
What's that one's name?
I like to call him Marcus. I don't know why.
Well,
then I'll pat the new one.
I guess Marcus has a sibling now.
Yep.
You said there are 12 children in all?
Yep, 12 children in all.
and I had given things to 2 of them.
Can I do one more thing real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that bed still flip around?
Yeah, the beds are still the wrong way. The map. That one. All right. But the last yeah, one more thing Luvina is gonna do is she's gonna gesture to the blanket that she'd given Molly and said,
You go ahead and keep that. Thank you, Marcus, and the new guy here might need it more than I will.
I'll figure it out.
she'll
Thank you.
ruffle Molly's hair.
You're very welcome.
She'll ruffle Molly's hair, get up and rejoin the other.
Oh. Zimmer just sits there and like slightly stretches and be like, I'm gonna go take a nap. Oh god.
I think I could use a good nap too. Who's paying for the rooms?
All right. I'm assuming Wesley spends a little bit of time handing out gifts to kids.
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying to figure out which ones. I'm guessing the seashells and maybe a couple of marbles and buttons.
That works.
And I'd already
And-
given 2 people something, so I would get rid of about 10 more items.
Yeah.
Why do paladins prefer chainmail? Because it's holy armor.
Haha. Anyway.
you.
Okay. And I also would like to think that Wesley makes some sort of an attempt to try to give gifts to his 2 party members.
Yeah, I would. If it seems like we're finished and about to part ways, I would go up to them and
I think we're like
To-
making our way back to town. It's just like, oh,
say what?
I think we're just making our way back to town.
Yeah, we're just
Yep.
going back to town to take a nap. The characters will figure out what to do from there in sessions that we are not playing because this is a one shot.
Why did the
You're right.
barbarian learn lightning spells?
What?
I don't
No,
want to know.
no, don't stop right there.
The wizard said that he needed an outlet for his anger.
Anyway.
Luvina is gonna ride on her broom the rest of the way back. Just kind of casually sitting with both her legs hanging off one side and kind of happily kicking.
I'm
At least
going
it wasn't
to.
a bunch of rogues. It would have been a surprise party.
Sam,
Yes.
bad.
That was pretty good. So the whole way back to town, I'm going to be scurrying directly under Luvina and on her broom, looking up. I promise I'm not a perv. I'm looking at the broom.
Okay, eventually, after Luvina's gonna look down at it after a moment, like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
just like dip down until she's like just above the ground so that he can hop up.
To
Did you hear
be fair,
about...
I am lightweight.
And does he hop up with her?
Sure.
All right. And then Mura slips out of her hair and kind of takes a nap on his head.
Aw, Mara likes you.
Did you hear about the druid who wields swords when they're using wild shape?
Stop! Let us finish.
Okay.
Let us finish the goddamn adventure in a satisfying way first. Then you can torture us, you foul fiend.
This is Silver going through and telling jokes.
Okay. So, what do you give to Lavinia while hanging out on the broom?
I would probably wait till we land. That would probably be safest.
So we go to the tavern.
Yep. Right.
So, yeah, if y'all couldn't tell, I have a bag of miscellaneous knickknacks, and I have a knack for handing them out and sort of bartering and trading and giving and gifting and such. So I would go up to Silver first, and I would sort of gesture, holding out a hand, palm up, and then I'd point to her.
She holds out her hand.
I rummage through my bag and I clasp a medium-sized thing in the palm of my hand and deposit it onto her hand. And it is a sort of a clearish, semi-transparent red stone. It
Ooh.
looks really pretty and it's very polished.
Did you steal this?
I shake my head no.
I'm kidding. What is it? It's very
And
pretty. What is it?
it's a red, pretty stone. And I go over to Luvina and I do a similar gesture. I hold like the hand out and then point.
Yep, and she kind of holds out both of hers in this kind of cup-like thing.
I nod emphatically and point to both of you and nod. And then I point to your face and point away. Kaka!
Luvina brings both of her cupped hands up to her face with a loud slapping sound, and then spins a full 180 degrees.
Is this like, do I have to count to 20? One forgotten realms, 2 forgotten realms, 3 forgotten realms.
Silver will put a hand on her head and slowly turn her back around.
She's still
Yeah.
covering her face, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gently pull your hands back down in front of you. I shake my head. No. Holding your hands down in front of you, I point to your eyes and I point away.
I look where you point.
All right. So into your 2 hands, I place a rather large item that's about as big as your hand, and then I sort of cup your hands around it. It's very large and fairly heavy. And you are now free to look at it as you discover that I have given you a dragon's fang.
Luvina hugs the crap out of Wesley. And then after a few seconds of admonishing him in the hugs and squeezes and telling him thank you, she then proceeds to stand up, and while just examining it like a mad scientist studying his latest experiment, she's going to turn and walk until she reaches the wall, and then she's going to start walking on the wall with her slippers of spider climbing, oozing over this dragon's fang, and then she's just going to walk upside down on the ceiling. And it's basically just going in full sideways circles across the room, just up the wall, onto the ceiling, down the other wall, back onto the floor, etc., just kind of giddily talking to herself and enthusing about this gift, and occasionally hopping when she's on the floor so that she doesn't fall and bonk her head.
So at some point or other, Silver has actually said Luvina's name.
Yeah.
To get her attention. Yeah. And I would have.
I guess it'd be like, are you
ahead.
okay?
I haven't gotten a gift like this in a while. I'm so happy.
So
She comes back down to the floor and hugs Wesley again.
Oh, thank you. It's gorgeous. I think I'll make it into a necklace.
So I say Luvina, but of course it's a voice that I've heard someone else say. You hear me say in Silver's voice your name, Luvina, and then
confusion for a minute, and then settle on
Okay.
Wesley.
And then in perfect Goblin and in your voice, I say you're the sweetest.
Luvina has a heart attack from pure adorableness. No, not yet. But she does hug him again and says it back to him.
Yes, and I think
She's a
that
very
is a
affectionate person.
yes. I think that is a fine little lovely ending to our sort of long-winded one-shot. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. I had a lot of fun with that. And I kind of want to use Luvina again at some point because she's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Sorcerers are
Back up.
fun. And just playing someone who's so energetic and perky, it's a nice change of pace from Locke. I love Locke, but he can be kind of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like, this whole session was a nice change of pace. It went from the kind of bleak, depressing crap we're used to something a lot more lighthearted.
yes, I can't wait for next session.
All right.
Or the campaign session.
The resummation of Shadows of Gradariel.
Yes.
Dude.
Hey, no biting. Belly rubs. No.
So,
No biting. Chin scratchies?
thank you,
Chin scratchies.
everyone, for listening in. This was a somewhat longer session, I think. I don't know how the editing is going to change it up, but it was great fun. Welcome, Kenneth. You made a lovely little bird bard that everybody seemed to enjoy, so that was good.
Kenkus are always great.
Yes.
And yeah, let's hope that the next character is just as enjoyable. And we will see you guys next time as we return to the normal, more somber tone of Shadows of Gradariel.